Hey, babe.
Yeah.
You do two things for me.
What?
Leave. You
Huh?
give me some more ice and a little bit more vodka.
Okay.
And when you bring me a piece of pizza.
Yes.
Do you mind?
No.
Is there enough pizza for you still?
Oh yeah, there's a lot.
I just want to make sure, babe. Because Noah
Do you need
said if you
anything,
touch him, he'll
Huh?
kill you.
Need anything?
I'm good. Thank you.
I want to share this on some of the college.
All right, I'm putting this in front of the door. Don't trip over it.
Okay. Thanks,
Adrian
Jenny.
Peterson has warrants out for his arrest for child support.
Oh, that dude's broke.
Hey, thanks for being here, brother. I really appreciate it.
Yeah. Hey, thanks for dinner. Good having a good time.
Later on, we're going to play hide the pickle.
Yeah. What?
Huh?
I forgot your pizza. I'm gonna go back.
You're telling us not to trip over as you're about to trip over?
I know. I said I forgot your pizza.
I know, I'm saying you tell us not to trip over as you're about to trip over.
Be very careful. It's very full.
Okay, thank you, baby girl.
Okay, get pizza.
Hey,
Just one
Abby.
piece. Abby, you're gonna have to get out of here. Come on, let's go get pizza. It's so amazing. Come on. You're a good girl. You, my baby. You're a good girl. That's perfect thing to block that.
Greg McElroy from South Lake Carroll.
Well,
He beat Texas, technically. I mean, Mark Ingram beat Texas, but...
hey, he did a good job handing off to him in 2009.
I legitimately do still feel that if Colt McCoy wouldn't have got hurt, they win that game.
Yeah.
Baby, thank you so much. I'm sorry.
It's okay. God, Abby. Abby, come on. Let's go get pizza. Come on. Abby. Abby. Let's go get pizza. Come on. She's not gonna be happy.
She knows who feeds her. Call her. Call her.
Abby.
She ain't listening.
Keep calling her.
So good. Abby. Abby, come on. So good. Okay.
Ooh, Notre Dame.
No, you can't go in there.
It looks like they finally fucking dimmed the helmet a little bit. It was too bright for a few years.
Yeah. It just looked bad with like the mustard pants, you know.
Hang on, everybody. We're about to start reading real quick. I thought I had the timer, and I guess I didn't turn it on.
Yeah. Are we live, sir?
Mm-hmm.
So I was going to say, well, hello.
All right,
I'm intern Noe the Pro. That's the host, Terry. That's OutDrank The Coverage. This is the first college football playoff game we're covering.
Oh, yeah. Good point. I didn't realize that.
And the new, also in the new 12-team format. First round matchups, there's 4 of them. This is the first one tonight. Home team is the higher ranked team. So Notre Dame is hosting this one. This is in South Bend, Indiana, Notre Dame, Battle of Indiana. Indiana kind of was a surprise team. They have a good veteran quarterback in Kevin Rourke, good size. He had a great game in every game except for Ohio State, but they were hanging with the Buckeyes for most of that game. Well, at least for the first half of the game. Kurt Signetti, the head coach of the year. It's just ridiculous. This is the best season Indiana's ever had. Congratulations to them. Them and SMU, kind of like the little underdog. Boise State, Arizona State.
Well, you bring up a good point. Now, Boise State and Arizona State, of course,
they have buys.
They clinched because they won the conference.
Yep.
But I love the fact that Indiana and SMU, who didn't win the conference, got in. That's the part of the playoffs that's fun. If it's always just the Power 5 and the top 10 getting in, I mean, it's going to be repetitive. I love that Indiana's, they're going to face against it tonight. They're the underdog. SMU's the underdog against Penn State. But I enjoy the fact that they're at least in here.
Yeah, and you know what? I assumed Alabama would have gotten in had SMU won the ACC, but then when Clemson got the luckiest long-distance kick of all time, I figured the voters would still rank SMU ahead of Alabama, but I know a lot of other people thought otherwise.
Yeah, well, and to be fair, they got in. Clemson got a great return. SMU, they had kicked the field goal, put it in overtime, or they thought they were going to put it in overtime, and then they gave up a bad special teams blurb. And give Clemson credit. I'm not a big Dabo Swinney fan. I think he's one of those sanctimonious, annoying people. But give him credit because this is a Clemson team that everybody counted out with the way Georgia destroyed them at the beginning of the year. Yeah. And yet here they are in the playoffs. They've earned it. Whether I like him or not, I appreciate the fact that he got them into the playoffs.
Yeah. I mean, the rules were top conference champions, top-ranked conference champions, the top 4 get a bye, and then the 5th ranked conference champion, they would get an at-large bid. And that's just how it played out. I don't think there's really any controversy to me as far as like who gets in and out. If you couldn't make the top 5 or 6, then I wouldn't be complaining because you probably wouldn't have won the national championship anyway.
That's a good point.
Notre Dame's coming out. They look magnificent in their gold dome. Fans are going crazy. The band's out in the field. This is exciting. Like, this is unprecedented. And I love everything that's been going on in college football lately. I love NIL. I think these amateurs should be getting paid for their name, image, and likeness.
Yeah.
I like the playoff format in general. Like, the BCS was kind of a step in the right direction, and then the 4-team playoff, and then now the 12-team. Do you think it should expand past 12 teams, Terry?
What now? I'm sorry.
Do you think the college football playoff format, right now it's 12, do you think we should be adding more?
Yeah, I feel like 12's enough. You want to make the regular season at least still matter.
Yeah.
I mean, now, in my opinion, they should go back to how it was, where you only play 10 regular season games, and then maybe you expand it. But I do appreciate the fact a lot of people thought when they went to the 4-man that they were going to stick at the 4-man for a few years or maybe go 8. I appreciate the fact that they were like, no, we're going to go ahead and go all the way to 12. I feel like 12 is a good spot. Mm-hmm. And by the way, of course, if you're going to ask, no, we can't stream the game. We're here to just talk it, but we do appreciate everybody that's going to be joining us here. I think we're in for a fun one. I counted it out over the last 72 hours. I've been streaming for 27 hours before we start this with all the high school stuff we've done. By the way, if you've never found us before, this is OutDrank The Coverage, part of L4 Media. We cover high school, pro, and college football and sports in Texas and the nation. And I'll fully admit, I have nothing against Notre Dame, but I'm rooting for Indiana in this one.
Yeah. I don't really have a team I'm rooting for, per se.
Mm-hmm. Per se.
I guess I see myself. I think I will root for Notre Dame just because they're a really good team, but they're always viewed as an underdog because they're kind of the Penn State problem where they get to a top 10 or top 5, but they can never be the top. And it's always like they're missing something.
Yeah.
And maybe it's their academics that holds them back. I don't know. But Indiana is really the true underdog.
But can't you make the case that Notre Dame's privileged because of the way it's set up? They're always especially now. I know they can't get higher than a 5th seed, but basically, as long as they go 9-3 or 10-2, they're going to be in the playoffs every year.
No, especially now. I mean, having 2 losses doesn't really take you out of winning a championship, which is kind of interesting concept. Like 2007 LSU was the last team to win a championship with 2 losses. It's just kind of weird to me now that like a 3-loss Clemson team now has a shot at winning the championship. And a lot of people feel that they can at least get to the semifinals. That'd be a true Cinderella story.
So we're at Notre Dame, Indiana, Notre Dame. The last time they played was in 1991. The last time they played before 1991 was I think 1930. I mean, Notre Dame was always above them, and so they wouldn't play them. And by the way, this is OutDrank The Coverage. I know we're sitting here on the sideline-to-sideline side of the studio, but that's just because we were doing sideline-to-sideline stuff.
We were too lazy to move everything.
Didn't have enough time. As you see now, I've always explained to people, what you see right now looks really clean, but the studio is always just a mess. Like, the other side's always going to be the dirty side because that's just how you have to do it. And so, but I do like the TV setup here. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's really nice.
So Indiana and Notre Dame as kickoff begins. Indiana will receive short kickoff, and they're going to call the fair catch.
All
so the ball
white
goes
with the
25.
red trim, red helmet. Indiana looks clean. I love Notre Dame's uniforms. It's another good uniform game.
This is a great uniform game.
Now, I apologize. Going into this game, I had heard reports that it was supposed to snow tonight. It's just cold. It's not going to snow, so apologies, sir.
Yeah, you let us down on that one.
Yeah,
I guess my phone's not
Screwed the
in here.
pooch, so to speak.
Yeah, I thought you got some probation for that.
Kevin O'Rourke, veteran quarterback for Indiana. Very good quarterback this year. Got hurt for a couple of games, came back. I think I like his pro prospects.
All right, here we go. The playoffs are beginning, and we're going to have a false start. Actually, no call. They try to run it, not much there. I thought they were going to call a false start. It looked like that left side of the Indiana line jumped.
Yeah.
For Indiana, they've got to survive the first quarter. And by the way, I just realized Notre Dame's got the gold names on the back. That's really slick.
It's also very new. They usually don't have names on the back.
That's a good point, too. Yeah, they don't. So 2nd and 13 now for Indiana as they couldn't get anything going on that first play.
I wonder if Notre Dame hired Al Golden just because of his last name.
Jesus Christ, we've reached that point of the night. We're 2 plays in, Noe, and that's going to be incomplete, and Indiana's starting out the exact way they didn't need to.
3rd and long. This is exciting. The crowd's into it. This is the first of its kind, everybody. So, I mean, this is kind of exciting. We don't know what to expect. It's just pretty cool to even be watching this. Playoff football in college is in the FBS division, the top division. It's pretty unprecedented.
Yeah, Indiana throws behind. It's going to be 3 and out, and this is like the worst start you could have if you're Indiana. And kind of felt like this. And look, I want Indiana to win, but I mean, it's been a great season for them and all. 11-1. They only lost to Ohio State, but let's also be fair. They avoided most of the best teams in the Big Ten this year.
They won the games that were put in front of them. I thought when they beat Michigan at home, I thought that was a big deal, even though Michigan's only won 5 games.
I mean, Michigan beat Ohio State.
Michigan ended up beating Ohio State to close out the regular season. Punts away, short punt. Good field position for Notre Dame's going to have the ball at their own 41. That's fantastic.
Yeah, this game is starting out the worst way it could be for Indiana.
Now, you had mentioned on our college football playoff preview that Riley Leonard, he's a guy that don't put the ball in his hands like to throw, but he's a guy that can manage and use his legs to create some good offense. And let's see what happens here. He's the transfer from Duke, I believe. I think he got hurt at Duke midway last season, and then he transferred over to Notre Dame this season. He had a good year. They had the bad loss to Northern Illinois to start the season, but they haven't lost since. And they've been blowing out teams too. A very good Army and Navy team they blow out. First and 10, hand it off. Oh, Indiana stuffs that for a 2-yard loss.
Yeah, good penetration by that defensive line. You and I were talking about it when we were doing that high school show earlier. Like, you and I both feel that the playoffs or the college football world is going to eventually be where the Big Ten and the SEC form a super conference.
Yep.
Basically like the NFL. And Notre Dame's going to have to go into one of those. And I think they'll go to the Big Ten.
They're going to get tired of not being able to get a bye, and they're going to have no choice but to. Yeah.
Well, I mean, I just think that eventually, it's again, we're not even talking about the 12-team playoff. As the ball's going to be intercepted by Indiana. Wow, the Hoosier defense comes up strong. But what I'm talking about is if the Big Ten and SEC break off, the Notre Dame's going to have to go with them.
Yeah.
If they want to be relevant. So I'm not even talking about the 12-team playoff. I'm talking about a world where the Big Ten and the SEC are basically like an NFL, where it's the AFC versus the NFC. I would love it if they did that. I also would love it if they wouldn't play each other in the regular season. So when you got to that, I like cross-divisional play and cross-league play in baseball, but I do miss when it was you were seeing the Cardinals versus the Royals, and this is the only way they would play each other would be in the playoffs. Yeah. I do miss that in baseball, and I would love if college football did that. So Indiana now 1st and 10 after the big interception.
I kind of just wish they made the U.S. and they did like a little cross to make it a quad.
Mm-hmm.
It just had like a Northeast conference, a Southwest conference, a Southeast conference, and a Northwest conference. And you kind of, like you said, 10-game regular season, maybe a mini conference tournament. The winner of each conference goes to a semifinal matchup.
Yeah.
So the champion of each conference plays in a 2-week period.
I mean, I think you just do it like the NFL. You have 32 teams. Well, 6 of them in each conference, and then you go, 4 divisions. You go division champs, get a bye, and then you have a playoff spot, and you get 3 wild cards. So the penalty knocks back to 1st and 20 for Indiana, but they still get the first down, so that's a big point.
Ball at the 49-yard line of Indiana. Shotgun, handoff. 3-yard gain, not bad. They need a lot more than that, but it's a good start.
Wow. Holy wow. 3,000 people have joined us. Welcome, everybody. We appreciate that. Wow.
Hello.
We never know with this what we're going to get. I mean, we're still I know I say this is new. We've been doing happy hours for about 9 months now. We've done these live shows, but every time I always tell you, if we just get like 500 people, I'm going to be happy. And here we are with 3,000. We hope you stay with us through the whole game because I think this is going to be a fun one. 2nd and 17 for Indiana now.
And kind of the same play. First down play was 3. This second down play was 3 yards. So 3rd and 14 coming up. Ball at the 45-yard line of Notre Dame. I think if they can get another 10 yards, they'll be almost in field goal range. Curious to see what kind of play call they're going to make here. What conference, as it stands today, do you think Notre Dame would best fit in? Would it be Big Ten?
Big Ten. And again, my whole Indiana going deep has a man.
Pass interference if he did.
He caught it. He caught it. That's going to be a first down inside the 20-yard line. Indiana striking first. Again, my whole belief is in the next few years, maybe even sooner, but at least within 5 years, that's a catch. They're going to try to snap it quick. They do. So the play stands, looking to throw over the middle. Ball's going to be intercepted. So back-to-back interceptions by both teams. It's going to be one of those games. This is going to be one of those wacky games. You can already tell. But my whole belief is within 5 years, the SEC and the Big Ten break off from everybody else and form their own conference or their own league. And it's going to be like the NFL. And so if Notre Dame wants to be a part of that, they're going to have to go with that, and they're going to go to the Big Ten. You're not going to put them in the SEC. You're going to put them in the Big Ten. And, Grant and I, sideline to sideline, we were talking about it. He feels, and I don't think he's necessarily wrong, he feels that they might cut some teams, like drop some teams and add some teams. I don't know if they'll do that. But, yeah, I definitely think we're going to a world. The NCAA is dying. As a league, they got so greedy for so long that they never could see the forest because of the trees, and now they're a dying. Nobody respects the NCAA. I mean, we just saw the JUCO ruling, where basically the judge said, "Hey, we don't give a crap what the NCAA says. We're going to let JUCOs play in JUCO for 2 years, and then still have full 4 years eligibility."
Yeah.
So eventually, the SEC and Big 12 or Big 10 are going to be like, "Yeah, we're just not going to be a part of this. We're going to do our own thing," and Notre Dame's going to go with them. And at least that's my belief.
I mean, no one ever thought NIL would be a thing in college football, and here we are.
And
or
again,
college athletics.
And I know a lot of people say, well, it's the Wild West now, and they're getting paid too much. I disagree, but I will say this. If the NCAA would have taken care of business 20 years ago and actually paid the players at least something, they could have controlled it, but they just... And this isn't just NCAA. This is politics. Everybody just wants to kick the can down the road until you have to deal with it instead of being proactive.
Yep. Very true.
But this is going to be a weird game. You can already tell. We've already had 2 interceptions. Indiana looked like they were moving. They throw an interception. Notre Dame threw an interception in their second play of the game.
It kind of reminds me of the Texas OU rivalry, because every time you watch that game, there's a lot of the games in that series where there's a lot of turnovers to start the game. Mm-hmm. It's like, I don't know if your energy's up or
it's nerves. It's nerves. Oh, and to be fair, right, both of those interceptions, one of them was a tip. The Indiana getting the interception from Notre Dame was a tip.
Yeah.
The Notre Dame getting the interception was an overthrow. This is the one thing about college football is the friggin' long.
That's the dude from Ted Lasso.
Yeah, Danny.
Yeah.
Danny. He was a real soccer player.
Yeah.
We're going to eventually do a retrospective on Ted Lasso.
Yeah. Did you already finish the series?
No, we haven't finished the last year.
Okay.
Yeah.
Tough. Red zone interceptions, red zone turnovers in general, those are just tough. Especially with a team that's an underdog and you kind of need to almost play a perfect game.
Yeah. No, you're 100% right. But Notre Dame is backed up at their own 2-yard line.
Yeah. There's a lane.
Big lane. Uh-oh.
Oh, my gosh.
We're going 98 yards.
Oh, my goodness. Oh, wait. I think, touchdown. 98-yard run.
Wow. I'm going to go ahead and say it right now. That might be ball game. That might already have broken Indiana.
Jeremiah Love, 98-yard touchdown off the interception in the red zone.
Oh, my God, dude.
Clutch. The Irish are waving their yellow towels. Indiana, I mean, that's a gut punch. Good golly. Gee Willikers.
Wow.
Great blocking, too. I mean, that lane was... You and I could have got at least 10 yards.
I'm just this game. You didn't know what was going to happen here. The first true, I know we had a playoff system last year, but the true first playoff, and like Taylor Lee says in our Discord chat. By the way, you can get on our Discord chat if you join our Patreon. Just go to patreon.com/L4 Media. The first 12-team playoff touchdown is a 98-yard scamper.
Unbelievable.
Oh, look at that lane, dude. And once he hit that corner, he was gone.
Yeah. Man. Riley Leonard celebrating like he did something. Good job.
That is such a gut punch.
Oh, yeah.
Ties the longest run in school history. Josh Adams in 2015. Wow, as long as Notre Dame has been playing football, the two longest runs have been within the last 9 years. That's kind of crazy to think about that.
It is very crazy. Yeah, you are correct. Those dome helmets are not as
bright.
Yeah,
I think they look better like this.
Someone told them like about a decade ago, I guess, that people wanted to see more shininess on the dome.
Shiny on the dome.
I don't know what it was. It was very recent that they started doing that, but it was at a cost of their uniform, because back in the day they had the best uniform or one of the best uniforms.
Oh yeah, I mean they still have one of the best uniforms.
But that shiny dome helmet kind of like took away. Like, because it made the pants look more mustardy, Yeah,
I want to point out that it wasn't like they were ugly. I thought it was better when the gold looked like gold. And like you said, the gold was so bright it made the rest of the look weird.
Yeah.
All right, so Indiana now down 7-0. They need to find some consistency. They had the big pass play, but then the turnover. Oh, that offensive line is struggling now. That's going to be a loss. So 7-0 Notre Dame leads here. 10:57 left in there's been a lot of action in like 4 minutes of actual gameplay.
Everybody just needs to settle down.
Settle the F down.
Yep. 2nd and 12. Yeah, just calm down. Play your system. Do Indiana Hoosier football. There you go.
Big gain now on the ground. Going to be near the first down. Going to be 3rd down and about 3 on the play.
Nice little lane open up on the right side. 3rd and 2. Ball at the 33-yard line. Crucial moment here for Indiana. They need a first down here, or this game might get out of reach early. You might have to call it like you did for the state championship.
No, we're here for this one because we can talk other stuff if we have to.
Yeah, I know.
Hey, don't you sass me. Up the middle and a first down for Indiana, and for Indiana they just need to, like you seriously jokingly said, but they just need to settle down, and they have the last couple of drives.
Understandable that there's a lot of emotions going in this game, but again, I'm going to keep harping on it. This is the first year of the 12-team playoff, first round matchup. Typically, this would be a bowl game. Bowl game for this playoff format won't start until next week. So with this, I guess New Year's Eve, excuse me. So 10 days from now. So yeah, with this, it's a team in the playoffs.
Oh, almost another interception.
Yeah. Hosting a playoff game in college football in the FBS division is a first of its kind. So
yeah,
this is pretty cool. I can't wait for tomorrow with Penn State and SMU. We're from the DFW area, so kind of a little sympathy for SMU. Going to Happy Valley, 107,000 fans. Playing, to me, probably my favorite uniform in college football, Penn State. It's very simple, but I like it.
I like it, but it's nowhere near my favorite. Oh, nice run here coming for Indiana across the 50 to the 45. And maybe Indiana needs to stick on the ground.
Both teams found some running lanes.
Numbers. Yep, number.
like we talked about in the state championship.
Football has always been simply numbers. If you have the numbers, you run it. If you don't, you change the play.
It's very simple, yet complex.
So 1st down and 10 for Indiana as they trail 7-0 after the electric 98-yard touchdown run
By Jeremiah Love.
By the way, good job on Indiana of kind of getting past that and at least getting a first down and at least moving the ball. And they've moved the ball well so far. It's just been the turnover. That was the big thing.
They're already in field goal range. What they got to focus on now is just, again, playing their style of football. Don't turn the ball over. You're already discounted in this game. You're not supposed to be here, you know. Mike Shanahan. Any relation to Mike Shanahan?
I'm not sure, actually.
Or Kyle Shanahan?
Oh.
Good stick.
So third down now after the 1 yard gain, maybe no gain.
You know, worst case scenario.
Hang on. They just said nope. He's not related. That's funny. You brought that up, and then they literally said that on the broadcast.
If it said Mike Shanahan Jr., I'm like, oh, okay. Just missed the target.
Indiana, at least right now, the moment's too big for Indiana's quarterback. He is struggling. I know he had the one completion, but the wide receiver literally made a huge play on that.
Yeah.
But he has been throwing high. He's been throwing wide. He's got to calm down.
I think that's what I think what his quarterback coach is telling him right now. Now, I guess they don't have an elite field goal kicker because they're inside the 40. But
dude, that'd be a 60 or 58-yard field goal.
And?
There's
terrible punt. Terrible punt.
But yeah, dude. I know we're in the Brandon Aubrey era, and there's others, but it's still college. Yeah, nobody's kicking 58-yard field goals in college.
Big Ten program.
It's Indiana, dude.
Hey, watch next year. Northwestern's going to make it.
I love that. I want the look. I know technically I'm a fan of a blue blood, even though I'll debate how blue blood Texas is. But I'm a fan of Texas. But I want as many of the underdogs to get in. That's what makes the NCAA basketball tournament fun. Now, in saying that, the thing nobody ever talks about when it comes to the NCAA basketball tournament is when one of those teams upsets somebody. That usually makes the next round be kind of crappy.
Yeah.
You know, it's as fun as the upsets are. You'll get the Coppin States that go to the Sweet 16, or you'll get, I don't even want to call Butler because Butler was unfairly slotted and they were way better than what they should. The NCAA.
But they were a mid-major team.
Yeah. NCAA didn't give them the respect that they
deserve.
Yeah. And they didn't give them the respect they deserve.
Yeah.
But yeah, I love the upsets and I want the underdogs, and that's what makes it fun. If you're getting the same 12 teams every year, then it's going to get really boring really fast, in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, just like with BCS or the forward team, like you would always see an Alabama or a Clemson. Now, I like now about this is you're going to get your SMUs, you're going to get your Indianas, teams that should never make it. I think it's fair. You know, I think there's an adjustment period with the new college football. There's an adjustment period with the NCAA basketball on the men's side because all these players are, going to Kentucky, or they were going to Kentucky for 1 year. They were already planning on going to the pros.
Well, they got rid of I get why they did you have to go to college because you had, Kelvin Garnett and Kobe Bryant, all those going straight to the pros. But it also, look, it's like Kevin Durant. I'm a UT fan. Okay, yeah, he played at Texas for 1 year. There was a couple great moments like Oklahoma State, back when Oklahoma State was still good basketball. Mm-hmm. They had a couple good games, but they got beat by USC in the second round. So what did he actually accomplish? And is he like, and give Kevin Durant credit. He still very much supports the school. He's big into UT, sports. But at the end of the day, it was like, hey, you're only here 1 year. Yeah. So I'm glad they kind of got rid of that, and you don't have to go to college. And by the way, I don't like college basketball. I don't like basketball right now. I don't like any sport that's all about just simply analytics, and that's where we're at right now in sports. And I talk about that all the time on our happy hour show. By the way, you can check that out. In NFL season, we're weekly. Well, except for we're not going to be here this week. But in the off season, we're every other week. And honestly, I like our off season shows because we kind of can stretch out our conversations and talk about other sports.
Yeah.
But sports is too analytical right now.
When we talk about sports, it's mostly football, but I think the other sport you like the most, just from our conversations, I think it is hockey.
Yeah.
Because they did make a lot of changes, but I think for hockey, they made a lot of changes for the better.
Well, the thing with hockey is, you can try to be analytical, but hockey is still such a random sport. It's on ice, you've got sticks, and you're hitting rubber.
Yeah.
You can be analytical all you want, but at the end of the day, just random shit will happen in hockey. That's why right now, honestly, and this, hockey is one of my favorite sports.
Yeah.
I watch hockey as much as I watch anything else outside of football.
That's what I was just saying. Like, I think outside of football, now maybe baseball might have been at one point in time, but I think just from our conversations, I really think hockey is your second favorite sport.
Well, it is because baseball is very analytical. Yeah. All it is now is people throwing 100 miles an hour and people swinging for the fences. You don't have the 80s St. Louis Cardinals, the
small
ball steals, sacrifices.
Or they called it then because of their manager, Whitey Ball.
Whitey Ball. That's my favorite sport. Wait, what?
Whitey Herzog was the manager for the Cardinals back in the day. May he rest in peace. He passed away, I think, earlier this year.
Ago, yeah. Was it earlier this year or last year? Anyway, yeah, he passed away. So 3rd and 6 for Notre Dame here, trying to get a first down, going to get the catch and turns and gets the first down.
There you go, Riley. Making a play with your arm. That guy's tough. He's shirtless. He should not wear a mouth guard, too. That'll make him look real tough.
I feel like that is so weird, dude.
I'll never get over that.
Kids these days.
I think both teams are starting to settle down.
I don't know if Indiana's settled down. Their offense has been really discombobulated. Hey, I got to work that in.
I'm glad we're not doing shots for every time you say discombobulated.
Did you say shots?
No, I said I'm glad we're not doing shots.
Okay, I'll take a drink. Let's take a drink. You got a drink?
Yeah, I
take a drink. To football.
Cheers.
Huzzah!
Huzzah!
Huzzah! Or skull.
Curious to see what Notre Dame does on this drive. Outside of that big play by Jeremiah Love, Notre Dame really hadn't done too much on offense.
Yeah, but that 98-yard play is a pretty big play.
Yeah.
Looking to throw, Notre Dame going to dump it off. Going to be 2nd down and 10 to throw. Great open field tackle. Going to be 3rd and 4. Oh, hello. Keyboard fell. Right now, Indiana's having an issue getting off the field. They're playing pretty solid defensively outside of that 98-yard touchdown, but they're not able to get Notre Dame off the field, and that is going to add up later. I know it's colder outside, but players still will get worn down.
Yes, baby, it is cold outside.
It's cold outside. I really should be tied up and stay.
I shouldn't have had you start drinking early.
It is called OutDrank The Coverage.
Yeah, that's true. It's kind of par for the course. Well, first
down again.
Man.
Indiana cannot get Notre Dame off the field when they need to.
So you had predicted the upset with Indiana. It's still early.
Nah, I was just shooting for the fence right there.
Could happen.
It's weird. Like we've talked about, and everybody will talk about tomorrow. It's been a weird first quarter, and it feels like Notre Dame is way more dominant than just 7-0.
Yes.
1st and 10 now for them. That's a fumble, but recovered by Notre Dame.
Yeah.
I feel like that probably should have been incomplete.
I think they're discussing it.
Let's see. Oh, well,
Man, that's an unlucky bounce.
That's close. That's right on the border.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a catch and a fumble, but it's barely. Like, you could convince me it's an incomplete pass, and I'm okay with that. Okay, so referees said the same thing. It's a catch, fumble, recovered by the offense.
Let's see if they review it, though.
Notre Dame's done a really good job at generating good tight ends as well as.
I mean, they always
linemen.
have. I mean, that's been kind of one of their staples is their tight end.
Yeah.
So they're going to keep the play. So it's 2nd and 2 now. 3:22 left in the first quarter. Indiana trailing 7-0. Notre Dame with the ball and the lead. Looking to throw, plenty of time, dumps it off, and going to be a first. Again, Indiana's doing solid on defense, but they're not getting them off the field, and that's what you got to do as a defense.
This is probably the toughest opponent Notre Dame's played all season, and I can see right now they're struggling a little bit on offense.
They are? I mean, I'm not. I mean, yeah,
no,
they had the
they're
interception.
not. So watching Notre Dame this season, they were like getting big play after big play. It was kind of easy, relatively speaking. Here, there's kind of like a slow drive. They're kind of working for every yard.
Oh, almost broke through, but good tackle right there.
Like that's Notre Dame hasn't had to do this much this season.
So Notre Dame on the year, they no, that's too far. Man, I hate the way they do these schedules here now. Of course, they infamously lost to. They beat A&M at the time. Thought
That was an ugly game.
Yeah, but it was considered a really good win. You know, they go into A&M, and that's why I still contend that one of the most overrated things is how tough it is to play at Texas A&M. Trying to set up the screen now, breaks a tackle, and again, Notre Dame just converting when they need to. 2nd and 8. There were 5 or 6 Hoosier players around him, and they just didn't make the play. But I still contend that one of the most overrated things right now is how hard it is to play in College Station, because I'm seeing a lot of teams go into College Station and beat A&M. But anyway, that was considered a good win, but then they again lost to Northern Illinois 16-14. And then they beat Georgia Tech. That win's actually pretty solid. Georgia Tech had some really good wins this year.
Well, they ended up beating Miami and breaking up their undefeated season.
Well, and then the Georgia game, and going 7 overtime before they finally lost.
That would have eliminated Georgia right then and there.
Haynes King from Longview, the starting quarterback for Georgia Tech. Notre Dame beat, at the time, a really solid Louisville team. I think people don't give them enough credit for that. They beat Army and Navy by a combined 96-28.
Ooh.
I mean, seriously, for all the talk about how good Navy and Army were this year, Navy absolutely throttled them. They destroyed Florida State. They beat USC 49-35. I'm not a huge Notre Dame fan. I'm not a hater either. I think they take a lot of crap that's kind of unfair at times.
Yeah, it's just because they're Notre Dame. But it's.
Oh, here we go. As Notre Dame is starting to really assert their dominance right now.
They're fighting something over there on that left side of the ball, or left side of the field. I like this drive a lot.
Yeah, this has been a really good drive. They've done a good job on 2nd and 8 multiple times.
They got a lot of push on that left side of the line.
Yeah,
wow.
they really did. They crushed in that. Number 6 for Indiana pinched in. I don't know if that was the play call or if he just went with the play. But here we go.
Might be the last play of the first quarter. (7-0) Notre Dame. It looks like they're going to just end this quarter. 10 seconds left. Yeah.
That's going to be we're going to take a real quick break. We'll be right back. It's football season, and that means it's bug season. Heck, who am I kidding? It's always bug season in Texas, and that's why you need Grandeur Pest Solutions in your corner. They're locally owned and operated. They're trained, they're trustworthy, and they have a proven record as they have been in business for almost 10 years. They provide pest control against ants, bed bugs, bees, roaches, fleas, wasps, mosquitoes, rodents, spiders, If it crawls and you don't like it, they're probably going to take care of it for you. Now, they serve all of the Dallas-Fort Worth area, and they're locally owned. These two guys have been running this business since 2013, and every year they get bigger and bigger. But you know what they still do? They still have great customer service. In fact, if you get a hold of them, they're usually going to have your quote and your job ready to go within 48 hours. That's pretty good. Now, you can call them for a free estimate at 469-809-1769. You can find them online at Grandeur4, that's the number 4, shore.com. You can also find them on Facebook. Just type in Grandeur Pet Solutions, and we are so happy that they're title sponsor for OutDrank. Hey, we're back. Talk.
Oh, hello, everybody. This is intern Noe the Pro. Terry's over there scarfing down on a delicious pizza.
Marcos, we need to they need us to advertise.
Oh, yeah. That'd be a great sponsor. It's 7-0 Notre Dame in the first college football playoff in the 12-team playoff format. They're at a commercial break. We were just coming out of a commercial break. Notre Dame kind of basically dominated both sides of the ball. Indiana had some moments on offense. Then the red zone interception set up the 98-yard Jeremiah Love touchdown. And that's where we stand right now at the end of the first quarter. Notre Dame up 7-0. Notre Dame's driving. They're in Indiana territory. They're getting that methodical drive. They're getting 5 yards here, 7 yards here. They seem to find something on that left side of the line of scrimmage that might play a big role coming in the second quarter. If it was me, if I was Marcus Freeman, the head coach for Notre Dame, I would just keep attacking that side until Indiana has a response to it. We'll see what Notre Dame responds when the start of the second quarter comes.
It feels like Indiana's in a lot of trouble already. And that's what we were worried about. When you're the underdog, especially when you're on the road, you've got to survive that first quarter. And technically you go, well, it's only 7-0. But Indiana got a turnover. Notre Dame gifted them a turnover early, and they just immediately turned the ball back over. And now, it just feels like Notre Dame has all the control offensively.
Yeah, Indiana is going to have to figure out something to do to stop them. I don't know, maybe add another defender at the line of scrimmage, something, because right now Notre Dame's controlling the line. Their hogs on the offensive line are just dominating Indiana's defensive line.
Dallas Stars down 2-1 early to the New York Rangers.
Oh, man. Just tear up
Stars
the team
are just
already.
a little bit off right now. They got to figure that out. They got to figure their scoring out.
I think there's offside there on the right side by Indiana, but I guess they're not going to call it.
No flag, but it's going to be down to the third down and about 1.
Good second down play call. Third and short. I think Notre Dame will convert this pretty easily based off of what I've seen so far.
So third down and 1 for Notre Dame. They're up 7-0. They have the ball at the Indiana 6-yard line. So they're at least, I'm sorry. Yeah, about 7 maybe.
Yeah.
They're in field goal position. Watch for a quarterback draw.
Good call.
Quarterback draw?
Robbie Leonard, first down.
Yeah. Indiana is in serious trouble. This is going to get ugly quick. I'm calling it now.
But yeah, again, it goes back to what we were talking about on the high school show. If you and I can sit here and just call what play Notre Dame is going to do, you would think Indiana knows too. But again, even if you know,
you still got to stop it.
You still got to stop it. Exactly. All right, first and goal, ball at the 3-yard line. I think we know what's going to happen here. Oh, good job, Indiana. Stuff that for a 3-yard loss.
Yeah, at this point, Indiana just needs to hold them to a field goal.
That would be a win. I'd be a little worried if I were Notre Dame, and I'd have to settle on a field goal here. Good penetration by Indiana. Just when I was saying that Notre Dame's offensive line was starting to take charge, Adding that extra man kind of helps there.
So second and goal, second quarter. Get out here. Trying to throw the ball, touchdown. Wow.
Wide open. Jaden Thomas touchdown. 13-0 Notre Dame, pending the extra point. What a drive that was.
Yeah, that was to me more impressive than the 98-yard touchdown run because Notre Dame imposed their will on Indiana. Great play design right there.
I wonder how Indiana is going to respond on offense. I wonder if they depart from what they typically do on offense.
I mean, their offense is pretty diversified. So, I mean, honestly,
that's what I'm saying. Like, I wonder if they just pass only.
Oh, I see
It's
what you
still
mean.
early,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, I see what you mean.
That's the point I'm talking about. It's
I mean,
still early.
is it early? You're down 14-0. It's not early anymore.
Two scores. You're barely into the second quarter. You have all your timeouts. You have plenty of time.
Yeah, but you've got to actually move the ball. I mean,
That's what I'm saying. Like, they could still do that.
Oh, yeah. No, I see what you mean. Yeah, you're right. But I'm just saying, and the thing that sucks is at times it looks like they could move the ball. They just, the interception, that is so huge, that interception at the worst time possible.
Yeah. Here.
John
Christmas
Travolta is.
Huh?
I was saying John Travolta is Santa.
John Travolta as Santa over here.
By the way, the crap that he's went through with his wife dying the last couple of years, he can do whatever he wants. I've always been a John Travolta fan. In fact, last year Christmas night, studio wife and I watched Look Who's Talking, a classic from the 80s or was it late 80s? Yeah, late 80s. I've always liked John Travolta.
He kind of revived his career 30 years ago doing Pulp Fiction.
He's revived his career a few times, actually.
Yeah.
Now he's doing some really bad movies. In fact, there might be a couple on bad movies and a drink down the road.
Okay.
All right, we appreciate the 3,000 people watching this with us.
Yeah. Thanks for hanging out with us.
We're in a long commercial. This is the thing about college football. I will give pro football the one thing I appreciate about it. Their half times are quick. Like, you just have just enough time to go to the restroom, get you a plate of food, make you a drink, and then the halftime started. High school and college is like, oh my God, this is so annoying.
Oh, I mean, you have to think about it. This is the first of its kind.
No, I mean just college football in general. I'm not talking about just playoffs. In college football in general,
in regular season,
it's a 4-hour experience. Like every game, it is 4 or 5 hours now because of all the timeouts. And look, we work in media. We understand you need advertising, but golly, at some point, man, tap the brakes on it. Let's get back to the game.
It's just too business oriented now, man. It's just it won't go back to anything.
It's always been a bit business oriented, though. That's one of the biggest fallacies. Is like there isn't like at one time college football was for the good of the game and for amateurism. No, it wasn't. As soon as they sold the first ticket, it became about money, folks. That's just how that works.
Yeah.
And I get it. Like I said, we are in the business of media covering the sport, and we rely on advertising dollar. But man, you got to balance that for the good of the what the audience wants as well. Mm-hmm. Saturday is going to be action packed. You've got SMU versus Penn State at 1 p.m. our time, Texas versus Clemson at 3 p.m. our time, and then Tennessee versus Ohio State at 7 p.m. our time. By the way, for the L4 Christmas party, I'm going to have to leave the Clemson Texas game. It will not be over before we have to head over to Fort Worth. So good job, Brett.
Well, you can always follow it on your phone.
I look at other things on my wait. What? Yeah, you're right. You're right. So Notre Dame up 14-0. They're going to be kicking off now.
Delete your browsing history.
I go for the most shocking thing. So when they finally do find me, they're going to be like, "Holy crap!" They're going to make a Netflix show about me. I'm going to be on Mindhunter.
Who do you want to play you in the documentary?
John Travolta. Ryan Reynolds.
Yeah.
He plays everybody. Wow, Texas 12-1 at home since 2023. How the hell, and I love this, but this is one of the biggest issues with college football.
Mm-hmm.
You should not have already played 13 freaking games at home in the last 2 years.
Someone was good at scheduling their team schedule.
So Indiana's down 14-0. It feels like this is one of those, they got to do something drive, and it's starting off terrible. Indiana just looks terrible right now. Unfortunately, this is going to happen when you pull teams in like might be underdogs.
Yeah.
We all have that like, this is going to be a great game, but you're also going to have some blowouts. And I think we're headed to that blowout point right now because Indiana just doesn't look like they belong.
They do look like it's a team that the stage is just too big for them right now.
They're like Dallas in the playoffs.
Oh, man. You mean the Oklahoma State Cowboys? What do you think about old Mullet?
Mike Gundy?
Yeah,
I think he's closer to losing his job than people realize. I've talked to people that are close to the program, and they told me stuff that come out to be true. Like basically the school's telling him, like, if you want to do this, A, you're going to have to give up some money, and B, you're going to have to understand that nil and transfers is the way to go. You just have to do that now.
Yeah. Oh, 1st and 10.
Hell, even Dabo Sweeney's understanding that. Indiana with a 1st and 10, they have some space and a first down and more across the 50. So for the second time tonight, Indiana is in Notre Dame territory.
Great run. Center pulled. Great block by the center.
That was beautiful, dude.
That is a very hard thing to do for a center. Like, the center's already calling the play, the line of scrimmage, checking, telling his other teammates the blocking strategy. Snaps the ball and also has to hustle. Great block. Sweep to the right. Got back to the line of scrimmage. Well, they're about midfield right now, so that's a positive. Game is not over by any means. Still over 10 minutes left. Indiana got punched in the face a couple times. They got knocked down, especially at that second touchdown, but they got themselves back up. If they score a touchdown here, it's a one-score game, and they're right back in it.
Yeah, we'll see. 2nd down and 10. Yeah, Indiana's quarterback is just trash right now. I mean, he is. The moments and they just were saying that on the broadcast. Like even the Notre Dame players understand. Like they know they're in his head right now. He is having a terrible game. Offensive line's not blocking well. You and I are seeing two different games because Indiana, to me, they're going to need a broken play just to get some advantage right now.
Trips left, single back.
Wow, really?
Oh,
you run a draw play right there. Yeah, Indiana's
up.
giving up. Indiana's already been like, hey, it's a nice season. This has been fun, but we're out. You're running a draw play at the 50-yard line on 3rd and 10 down 14-0.
Oh, my left tackle just got abused.
That's embarrassing, man.
Yeah.
See, this is the thing I was worried about is the teams like Indiana, the teams like SMU, in the trying to make their case like we belong, and right now Indiana doesn't belong. Golly, their freaking special teams kicker is terrible. Like, how is this team 11-1? I'm sure they're being honest. How is Indiana 11-1 this year?
Was it just a weak year in the Big Ten outside of like Ohio State and Penn State and Oregon?
Well, Ohio State Oregon. Everybody else is trash in the Big Ten.
Oh,
I'm
even
sorry.
Penn State and Ohio State?
I mean, did you see Ohio State lose to Michigan? And what is Penn State do? What is Penn State's defining win?
No, they had no defining win.
So, again, they're no different than Indiana. I mean, they have
Well,
better uniforms, I guess.
As Michael Irvin famously said, they came close against Ohio State.
But hasn't that's
and
and by the way, this is not a knock, but that's what Penn State's done. What they had, was it 2015? Was that the block?
They were way better now with James Franklin as head coach than they were pre-Franklin.
What was that? Oh yeah, 100. Well, Bill James or Bill O'Brien, or wait, is that his name? Yeah,
Bill O'Brien.
Yeah, I mean he had a great year for Penn State, and that's why he got the Houston Texans job.
Yeah.
But my whole point is, like, I mean, Penn State's no different than Indiana. They have a name. Their last big win was the infamous block the Ohio State kick. What was that, 2015? And that Penn State team was terrible.
Yeah.
That was what was shocking about them pulling that upset off over Ohio State that year. Just like with Texas and the SEC, and I'm a Texas fan, I will wholly admit Texas has not played anybody this year. The two teams that they've played is Georgia twice, and they've lost both of them.
Yeah.
And Indiana and possibly Penn State, it kind of feels the same way. And it sucks because, like I said, I'm rooting for these underdogs, but all this game is going to do is validate to people who don't think the Indianas and the SMUs belong. That's all this game is going to do is validate that to them. And it's not even like Notre Dame's great. Notre Dame's good. Again, like you have a top 12 team.
Uh-huh. I don't care if you're 13th or 14th. You're not going to win the championship. You just want to be invited to the dance, but you ain't going to make any noise.
But yeah, we were talking about this on the last happy hour. But the thing is in football, the 12th team should at least have a shot because the 12th seed, I don't mean the 12th seed, actual 12th seed in NCAA basketball, but if you count 1 to 12 rankings, the 12th team in NCAA basketball should have a chance to win the national championship. So in theory, the 12th team in the football should have a chance to win the national championship. I'll say this. I don't think Alabama belonged, but if you put Alabama in the playoffs, I think there's a good chance they'd have ran through it and won the national championship.
I think based off of reputation, maybe, but
no, I'm talking about just on the actual field of play.
I don't think this year's Alabama team was good enough to make the playoffs, but they weren't not going to win a national championship.
Okay, so who would be a prohibitive favorite over them?
Oregon.
A prohibitive? I mean, yeah, Oregon would be the favorite, but
I just don't see really any flaw. Like Oregon's had some close games this year. Ohio State, Boise State early in the season. And then really that Penn State game in the Big Ten title game, that was they won by 8 points, but you were never ever feeling at any point in that game
100%.
that Oregon was going to lose.
But again, okay. But I mean, Oregon's had 2 good wins, maybe 3. I think that's the thing we need to. I think the biggest discussion needs to be is how good is college football right now? Because I don't think it's very good. I don't think football in general right now is very good. I mean, it's fun to watch, but I mean, just pure quality. And I don't want to, I'm not trying to be the old man like, oh, back in the 90s. But I do think legitimately right now, football is just not good.
Well, okay.
I mean, somebody's got to win.
Like, okay, one in college football, the reason to me is, as much as I like it, I think the transfer portal is a problem as far as you don't have continuity with these teams every year anymore.
Yeah, but we have. I mean, we're only in what year 2 of the portal.
Yeah, but these are really good players transferring. Like, of course, there's also like okay players transferring, but like the really good players are also transferring too.
Wow.
That was a lot of effort for a 6-yard loss.
What was that? The old Marion Barber against the Patriots, one of the prettiest runs for a 2-yard gain.
Well, hey, you remember the whole thing of that 94 Monday Night Football game, Detroit and Dallas, how the announcers were...
You just hate that game, don't you?
They lost. The Cowboys lost that game, but the announcers were just in love with Barry Sanders.
Do you know why, though? Because Dallas was the favorite. When you're going into a broadcast game and somebody who broadcasts games for 10 years, hang on, we got to try to do a little bubble screen on 3rd and 16. They drop it. Jeez. Indiana now, that's actually, all jokes aside, that's a really good stand by Indiana right there.
That should give them some kind of motivation.
Momentum. But when you're broadcasting a game, you need the underdog to stay in the game because that's what keeps people watching.
Okay.
So you're going to pump up anything that the underdog does because you want the fan to be like, I need to keep watching this. And by the way, in that game, the underdog won. Give them
Yes,
credit.
they did. Yes.
They won in overtime. Great game. That was a really good game. Both running backs were awesome in that game. That's one of my favorite Cowboy games, even as a loss. But that's why they did that. And by the way, let's not forget, Barry Sanders was an electric player. Emmitt Smith was a workman-like. Emmitt Smith was boring to watch if you weren't a Cowboy fan, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
I don't know why you hate black running backs like you do, but I like them.
There's a commercial break now. 14-0 Notre Dame. Notre Dame's offense kind of looked like Indiana's the prior drive, which is pretty funny. But yeah, I mean, hey, Indiana stopped Notre Dame. Notre Dame punted the ball. Let's see what Kevin O'Rourke can do.
He's been terrible so far.
I said O'Rourke.
And
We're trying to make him super Irish.
Is it O or is it just Kevin Rourke?
It's just Kevin Rourke.
I mean, if he was super Irish, he'd be playing for Notre Dame. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
And to be fair to Rourke, the offensive line's been pretty crappy so far.
Yeah. Well, we are in OutDrank the Coverage territory, so
Shots?
Terry the host,
Yes.
how are you doing?
And what
And
are
what
you
are you
drinking?
drinking?
I'm drinking some Goodnight Loving because that's what you brought, and I do appreciate that. Thank you for providing to my alcoholism. What are you drinking?
I'm drinking some Redemption.
No, you drank past that like 2 hours ago. What are you drinking
This
now?
is the last of it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. It's
And by the way, I'm kind of offended because you obviously brought a bottle with like a quarter of alcohol, and you
half.
knew you were going to be here for like 10 hours.
yeah. I'm trying to be responsible. I think.
I'm sorry,
because-
what? I thought you worked for OutDrank the Coverage. If we were responsible, the show would be named "Going to have a couple drinks and then get a good night's sleep."
But that's just too long.
The Coverage.
Yeah. The Coverage. Yeah. Oh, we got the Christmas party tomorrow.
Oh my gosh, dude, we're drinking so much. My liver already said, "Hey, look, just call me in March."
Hey, I think it'll go over well if I just tell everybody I'm just going to drink water tonight, right?
OutDrank the hydration.
Yeah. See, look right now. Drink responsibly, everybody. Got my water here.
Or just get blackout drunk, whatever you want to do. We support both here on Sideline to Sideline. I mean, OutDrank the Coverage.
Well, it's kind of difficult when we have the sideline to sideline banners right behind us.
Yeah, we're on the Sideline to Sideline stage because we were doing Sideline to Sideline stuff earlier, and it was just easier to eat pizza in between instead of getting the set fixed.
And you got the sideline to sideline set.
By the way, if you're a Texas high school fan and you're curious, at the moment, South Oak Cliff is losing to Randall 14-0.
Oh, wow.
God, these commercials are so freaking long, dude.
Oh, it's playoffs. There's a lot of money to be had. I respect the hustle, ABC.
Yeah, you know, don't make 10 million, only make 11 million.
Yeah.
By the way, we have almost. Am I reading that right? Holy crap! We got like almost 6,900 people listening and
Oh,
watching.
we doubled. Oh, we're more than doubled.
You are so
Man,
dumb.
I should have put my good shirt on.
Smile so people can see you. Whoa!
God. And canceled.
Indiana 1st and 10 now, trying to find some points. Dude, they're just so conservative, man.
Why? Like, you have the momentum going your way.
And I will say this. It's not. I'll admit this. I mean, I know who Indiana is and all, but I haven't watched a ton of Indiana football this year. Maybe this is what they do and it works in the slow white league. I mean, the Big Ten Conference. But Jesus, man, this offense is just terrible right now.
Yeah, they've had a lot of breaks as far as competition goes. It's been a pretty easy schedule for them. But typically for a lot of those teams,
Second and 9, and they're running a very obvious, hey, we're about to run the ball.
They're giving the hometown crowd every opportunity to stay in this game. But I mean, Indiana every year has always had a pretty easy schedule. The difference is they actually have some talent on this team.
Hey, could you grab that Gatorade, please?
Oh,
Thank you, studio wife.
There you go.
Third down at 10 now as Indiana's probably about to get sacked.
Oh, Rourke, back to Pat.
Hey, look at that. First down, Indiana.
He had time to throw. Now,
That's a good point.
When they were playing the Minnesotas, the Northwesterns of the conference, Rourke had that pocket almost every time he dropped back. Against a team like Notre Dame with some actual talent, he was going to
be a penalty. Yep, there we go.
Should have been. It was, sir.
You know what I love for the Big Ten? So, if you're just now joining us, and a lot of people that find OutDrank The Coverage don't know that, like, I cover high school football in Texas. Even though we're on the same channel, it's a different group. So a lot of times on Friday nights, we either in a hotel or we come home late. And so what I love about Big Ten football is they start like at 10:30 our time. That's like perfect nap time. Watch a little football, watch a bunch of slow white people running on the field. Next thing you know, you've fallen asleep. It's 2 p.m. and then the big boy football starts.
I got a question for you.
3. It's always 3.
These hotels you would stay at with your sideline to sideline host, Grant, would you just share a hotel room?
Yeah.
How many beds were
2.
in that? Is that what you're saying on camera, or is that what really?
No, 2. But here's a funny thing. A couple years ago, we went through this weird 3-week stretch in a row where we would book a 2-bedroom, but we'd get there and be like, "Oh, we're sorry, there's only 1 bed." And it was like I'm like, "Is this on purpose, Grant? Are you trying to tell me something, buddy?" And then I realized I was the one booking the room, and I'm like, maybe I'm trying to tell Grant something. It was really weird. But yeah, we get 2 beds.
So, okay, we'll just believe that it's 2 beds. Okay.
I mean, you know me, dude. If I have my freak flag, I'll fly it. If Grant doesn't turn me on like Essence does. Oh, big first down for Indiana, and we're finally starting to see this Hoosier offense moving down the field.
Speaking of which, I really enjoyed our
Snuggles?
look back, I guess, or bad movies in a drink. Scary movie? Not a scary movie.
Haunted House.
Haunted House. Yes.
Yeah, we got to redo that though. It didn't come out like I wanted it to. We're still trying to figure some things out on that kind of stuff. Up until we moved over to L4, I was just what you'd call a straight like sports broadcaster.
Yeah.
I have a certain way I talk and a certain tone and a certain staccato and all that, and I'm trying to figure out to do the more relaxed. We're just sitting there talking, and so we recorded a couple of we recorded a Bad Movies in a Drink haunted house episode, which is one of my favorite movies. It's a bad movie. First down and for no gain, going to be maybe a loss for Indiana. Man, they're going to end up kicking a field goal. I can feel it now, and I hate that. By the way, this has been a really fast-moving game.
Yeah, it's almost halftime.
Yeah, almost halftime at 8 o'clock. The game started at 7 o'clock. But anyway, I've got to find that voice to do that, to where it's more of a conversational thing. And I'm trying, and that's one of the reasons why I like doing these live streams and I like doing the happy hours. It's helping me find that style. But we're going to figure that out with Bad Movies and a Drink. Now, the ones that we've done for Any Given Sunday and Point Break and Roadhouse have been absolutely awesome. For some reason, those worked.
And I'm thinking maybe the issue is we tried to do this in season.
Yeah, I think a lot of that's that. You feel rushed.
And you're busy with sideline to sideline. And, this year you do coaches shows. And there's other projects you work on. You never want to rush something like a movie review.
Yeah, exactly. 100%.
Yeah.
And we're going to figure that out. And again, we're going to have a lot of big changes coming up in a good way for L4 Media, OutDrank The Coverage, Sideline to Sideline, Bad Movies in a Drink, all that. Well, they're going for it. 4th and 4.
Oh, they feel desperate. Well, timeout.
Now we're going to call it timeout. That's a good timeout. And they're going to end up kicking a field goal, I guarantee you.
And I guess we'll be making these announcements in January?
One of them in January. The other one I'm not sure yet. I'm still waiting to hear from the people that, One of them will be obvious. Actually, it'll be February because it'll be during the Super Bowl. One of them will be very, very obvious when we do it. In fact, we're going to the Christmas party tomorrow. We're going to be talking about that. So at a timeout now, Indiana looked like they were going to go for it. 4th and 4, deep in Notre Dame territory. I was saying I don't really want them to kick a field goal, even though 14-3 is one of those scores that seems a lot more dominating than it really is.
Yeah, I mean it is a 2-score game, but it's also early. It's not even the second half, so I feel confident that Indiana is not out of this, especially how they handled Notre Dame in that last drive when they were on defense. Now they're driving. They're in red zone. They're in the red zone right now. So, yeah, the game is far from over. I think Indiana.
Oh, yeah, I agree with that. As much as I'm doom and gloom, I just know how this stuff usually works.
Yeah. Yeah, so I guess we'll do or redo the Haunted House series probably in the off season. We already basically did the show. So
well, one of the things that and you and I, when last year we started the look backs. In fact, that was kind of technically the first official video when we moved over to L4 Media.
Yeah.
One of the things that by the way, you look at this Taco Bell doing chicken nuggets now.
Well, I know what I'm gonna be.
Are you a Nuggie fan?
I like Nuggies.
That was a little bit after my time, like the explosion of them. I like McDonald's chicken nuggets, but I really
do. Yeah.
I like them more for the dipping. But I'm not a big nugget fan. Like I've never eaten like frozen nuggets or anything like that.
I mean, I like it. I don't like. So a lot of people like to dip them in ranch. I'm not big into doing that. I'd rather have something tangy like barbecue.
Yeah, I'm a barbecue sauce. I mean, I love ranch. I'm white, but I'm more of a barbecue sauce or a sweet and sour sauce when it comes to the nuggets.
Sweet and sour is good. I used to like honey mustard, but I kind of realized I wanted something like a spicy.
Told you they're gonna kick a field goal.
Oh man. I would have went for it. At this point, it's go for broke. You're already here. If you can't convert it,
watch you'll miss it.
It would serve them right. But you know what? Kurt Signetti, who's the coach of the year this year, he knows what he's doing.
Does he? I mean, this is his first. I didn't even know who he was before this, to be honest with you.
Well, also me too. But he was good enough to where I decided to want to know his name.
And by the way, again, I love when teams like Indiana have these years because who one of the who might be their most famous football alum is, right?
Where?
For Indiana, I just said that.
Who?
Antoine Randall.
Oh yeah,
he was the quarterback for them.
Yeah,
went to Pittsburgh and Washington and was one of the jack of all trades. I miss when Pittsburgh used to do that. You had Cordell Stewart slash and then Antoine Randall, who threw a touchdown in the Super Bowl.
To MVP Hines Ward, yeah.
And one of the worst officiated Super Bowls of all time.
Yeah, I kind of feel bad for that 05 Seahawks team. I think they were the one good team in the NFC that
You mean
year.
the team that Dallas should have beat?
Well, yeah, and then Bill Parcells decided to make it ugly the second half, even though the Cowboys weren't in control of that game.
I know everybody wants to talk about the Romo drop, and that was terrible and all, but I will always remember two things. A, if Jason Witten fights through a tackle right there, it's a first down and they're not kicking the field goal. But B, earlier in the game, Cowboys deep in their own territory try to throw a freaking bubble screen to Terry Glenn that really should have been a safety, but was like, it was just terrible play calling.
Yeah.
I hate football.
Those mid-2000s Cowboys, they were so frustrating because you could see the Super Bowl potential, and then they would either miss the playoffs or make the playoffs and just get bounced out in the first round. So they would end up still not winning a playoff game.
I hate football. Why are we doing this?
What was that?
Oh, my phone. I accidentally hit a Facebook reel. 14-3, Notre Dame leads with 3:25. This is a really important drive for Indiana. If they want to stay in this game, they cannot give it. Well, I mean, I guess they can give a field goal. It'd still be a 2-touchdown game. But in theory, they cannot give up points in this drive. And if for Notre Dame, this is one of those, like, you want to take control of the game, you score right here.
Yeah. I'm not sure how Notre Dame's going to respond this drive, but they didn't look good on the prior drive. So
yeah, but I mean that's one drive after putting up 14 points. I mean,
yeah.
It's just,
they've only had one really good drive where it was they went up down went down the field and scored. The 98-yard touchdown. I mean, it was good blocking.
Yeah, it was electric, but it wasn't a drive. Yeah. That's a good point.
So let's see what they do on this drive. I mean, it could be one where they still struggle. Or it could be another big play.
It took 6 minutes from when they kicked the field goal to when Indiana's kicking off. Again, I get it. Commercials, revenue. But my God, you've got to keep us engaged in this game. 8 minutes ago, we were talking about how, wow, man, this half's going by fast.
Yeah.
And yet, 8 minutes later, we're still at 3 minutes and 30 seconds. Notre Dame going to return it out of the end zone.
Indiana snuffed that up.
Yep, good pursuit right there by the special teams. So 3:20 left in the second quarter. Notre Dame up 14-3. Who wins the World Series? Who wins the Super Bowl, Noe?
Buffalo.
Yeah, it's starting to feel like Buffalo or Baltimore.
Because even when Buffalo loses, Josh Allen is not the reason. Because, prior years, Josh Allen would have a few turnovers, and that would be the reason why they would lose. But, this year, he's been pretty good. They had the early losses to Houston and Baltimore, but, I mean, ever since then, he's just been lights out. And I think the main reason for that was the trade of Stephon Diggs. I think it kind of reminds me of like 2006 Eli Manning versus 2007. Mm-hmm. When Tiki Barber retired, when Jeremy Shockey went on injury reserve, it kind of fell on Eli's lap to right the ship, and he was able to do that.
Well, I mean, the defensive pass rush was able to do that.
But like he became more of a leader that season. I think he really felt more comfortable with the Giants and being starting quarterback.
It's funny you say that because that's the one thing I've never really heard any Giant player say like Eli was a leader. Like I feel like that, and I mean this is a positive of the Giants. I feel like that was one of those teams that didn't really have a leader. Like the defensive just knew what they needed to do, and they did it. And Eli was solid. I'm not saying Eli was bad. He had a really good playoff run. But that was one of those teams that, I mean, like, seriously, you've never heard any of the Giants say, like, oh, man, Eli, if it wasn't for Eli, we wouldn't have done it. And Eli was the leader,
I mean, to me, when I watched 2005 Eli, the Giants who won the division but got knocked out in the first round by the Panthers.
Yep.
To 2007 Eli, who was unflappable. Like, he was the same guy, regular season, postseason, where the stakes were high or low.
And I'm not knocking Eli, by the way. I'm just saying.
It could have been the extra experience. He was in his fourth season. But to me, he just seemed way more comfortable. And I almost feel like it's because those negative distractions were off the team. One was on IR, one was retired. That's just my opinion.
And you and I, we've had many fun discussions of this. I think the whole quarterback as a leader thing is extremely overrated anyway. I don't understand, and as somebody who's grown up around the sports and played sports and all that, I think just the whole leadership thing in general is pretty overrated. I think that these guys know what they're doing and they just go play football or whatever sport it may be. And I'm not saying they never have, there aren't any leaders, but I just think I think leadership, leaders, what other things, when they say, well, he has all these quality, I think that's just trying to explain stuff you can't explain. Like how Eli Manning for 90% of his career was very average, at sometimes sub-average, but he had 2 great playoff runs. And there's nothing wrong with that. Congratulations on the 2 playoff runs, but that doesn't make him a great quarterback. He just had 2 good playoff runs.
Yeah, he just didn't have 2 good playoff runs because the other years, I think those were the only 2 years he actually won in the
Exactly. That's one of my point is. He had 2 good playoff runs.
But going back to your point about leaders and leadership, I think there is a point to be made about locker room leaders, veterans. The leader's responsibility is to get all the people in there with different personalities, different skill sets to come together for a singular purpose. Now, it might not necessarily be the quarterback, but it needs to be someone that can rally the troop, like make them all come together despite their differences in every variety, political beliefs, age, race, whatever. And they all come together and they can all agree to disagree, but have the singular focus of winning a Super Bowl or just winning, being a winning team, creating a winning culture. And I think true leaders, they might not have to be Pro Bowlers or all pros, but they need to be individuals that have, just leadership qualities like strong-willed, determined, tenacious. I think a lot of the teams that win Super Bowls or win college football championships, state championships in high school, they have 1 or 2 of those players or individuals that meets that qualification.
Or they have a team that just knows how to go out and take care of their business.
Man, to me, it's just so hard to get 50-something players to do that, to have that focus altogether. It usually involves 1 or 2 players that inspire everybody else to fall in line.
3rd and 6 now for Notre Dame. They're all of a sudden having some issues throwing the ball, and it's going to be caught. Oh, what a great play there. Indiana thinks it's incomplete, but they're calling it a catch. Let's see the instant replay.
Snap the ball. Snap the ball. Too late. That's a catch.
Oh, that's close.
Ball's underneath.
I think that's a catch.
Yeah.
I just think the word like leadership and all gets thrown around when people can't quantify why something happens. How does a team that's average get great for a 3-game stretch and win a championship? Or how does a team that's great get into the first round and then struggle? And so we throw words around like leadership and all that. And a lot of times it's like, okay, so how did he lead? And that's when you get the blank stares from people. I don't know.
Oh, man, a lot of those people don't know what true leadership is.
I don't think that. My whole point is I don't think anybody does. I think leadership just gets thrown around as, well, why did they win? Leadership.
I think the players should be answering that question, not like media.
I'm saying players don't know it.
There's some reason
why. Okay, so
why.
How was Troy Aikman a great leader? What did Troy Aikman do that was such a great leader?
I don't think he was a great leader.
Well, I mean, that's what everybody always talks about. Hey, the Cowboys.
I saw the late 90s Cowboys. I saw him frustrated on the sideline. I loved the passion. I loved his commitment to winning.
Now, to be fair to him, in the late 90s, there's nothing he could do. The game was, I mean, the Cowboys were, it was, as he even says, the famous, sideline rant on a Monday night where he's like, this is ridiculous. We have a coach that doesn't, all that. But I'm saying, okay, so Michael Irvin, how was Michael Irvin a great leader?
He motivated his teammates to play better. His personality.
What did he do though? Like what moment? Nobody.
He went to all of his teammates and was trying to pump them up and hype them up, and he became more of approachable. He was a superstar that was approachable to his teammates.
Says who? I've never heard that. All I've ever heard, and this is a positive. I'm not saying this is a negative. All I've ever heard about Michael Irvin was he was a hell of a practice player. Like, he went hard at practice. He practiced like he played, which is a great quality. I'm not saying it
Lead
wasn't.
by example. That is a great quality.
Okay, so what example? What the practice or doing blow and screwing hookers?
Look, that's all.
No, I'm
subjective.
serious. No. I'm serious. We joke about that, but I'm serious. And I'm not saying that's a knock on him. But my whole point is, he wasn't a leader. Like, he was a great player. He practiced hard because he was a great player.
He was a leader because he practiced hard and was a star. And he set an example for everyone else on that roster. Like, hey, I'm working this hard, and I'm a Pro Bowler, and I'm an All-Pro.
Oh.
You need to be working just as hard as I am to help this team win.
I just think I just think that when people, and I don't mean you, I mean just in general, people. Yeah. When they can't define why something happens, we go to cliches like leadership and all that, and it's like maybe they're just a good team. I don't think the '90s Cowboys needed a lot of leadership as far as pure like motivation. Where they needed leadership was discipline.
Which Jimmy Johnson provided.
Which that's what. Well, but even then, Jimmy Johnson really wasn't. That's one of those fallacies. Jimmy Johnson has 100% admitted, I disciplined who I needed to discipline, but like I'm going to let Michael Irvin slide because at the end of the day, Michael Irvin plays hard and he's a great wide receiver. I just feel like we try to quantify things we can't understand, and we use things like leadership and determination and all that. And I'm not saying there isn't determination, but I just think that gets thrown around way too much. Like, not every championship team has 1,000 great leaders. Sometimes they're just a better physical football team, and they know how to all go out and do their job.
Or
and I
there's
think
4 or 5 individuals in the organization that kind of motivate everybody else to fall in line and do their job.
I just don't know if every team needs to be motivated. I think sometimes you just get a group of guys that go like, hey, this is my job. It's the same thing we were talking about earlier. By the way, it's 2nd and 1. This is why I knew this was going to be fun. Notre Dame going
far.
deep, incomplete. Yeah, good call there. Incomplete. It's the thing that we were talking about earlier about when people go, wow, well, somebody's getting paid too much. That tells me you're saying that if you got paid, you wouldn't try hard. That doesn't mean everybody that gets paid doesn't try hard. That's the same thing what I'm saying. I don't think everybody needs to be motivated. I think you can get a group of guys that they just know how to go out and do their job.
That I would agree with. I don't think every player or every personnel in that organization needs per se to be motivated. They're self-motivating. They want to do it.
Oh, good word there. Self-motivated. I like that. Yeah.
And
I honestly feel that a lot of first down, man, good call right there with the draw play. Beautiful call, Notre Dame on the first down. 30 seconds left. They're close to field goal range. I'm just saying, I think that sometimes I think a lot of the 90s Cowboys, they just knew how to, they were just so physically better than everybody. Like, they didn't need to have motivation. They just were better.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think I've seen a more dominant team than the 93 Cowboys.
That's what's so frustrating about that team is because of how short it was. Like they're the one dynasty decade that they're the only dynasty decade that didn't at least win 4 Super Bowls. They only won 3. But the thing that they did was they won 3 in 4 years, so that kind of propelled them. But I mean, you could make the case, hell, that Denver almost was right there as a team of the 90s. They won 2 Super Bowls.
And they had some good years in the early 90s and in the mid 90s.
Yep. Great rush by Indiana. I really like the gold number names on the Notre Dame jersey. Like you said, that's not been something they've done. Is it name or does it just say Notre Dame? Maybe I haven't paid attention actually. No, that's their name.
Yeah, because that says Leonard. So
that's their name.
Yeah.
I just think at times we try to make sports more than it is. Sports is all. I mean, I work in the field. I love sports. I've grown up around sports.
Yeah.
But I just think we try to make it like a religion almost and try to to hero worship these. Oh, my Eli Manning was such a leader. I have watched both of America's teams when they won the Super Bowl with Eli Manning. I never seen the word leader or anything about Eli Manning, and it's not a knock on him. I just don't think that team needed him to be a leader. I think they just needed him not to make a lot of mistakes.
Yeah, I don't think they needed Eli per se. I just feel like he seemed more himself when he didn't have those demonstrative personalities like Tiki.
Oh no,
Barber.
I agree with you. I 100% agree with you there. And I think maybe they, and maybe this is kind of my point of him not being a leader. I think maybe he kind of in their shadow kind of shrunk a little bit. And when they were gone, and you didn't have, Armani Toomer, was he the best receiver? I mean, they didn't have a stud receiver.
He was their best receiver at that time.
He was their best receiver with Jeremy Shockey. And by the way, Jeremy Shockey was a great tight end, but you're right. He was loud. And that's kind of my point. I don't think Eli ever was a leader over him. And him not being there, if that made Eli a better leader, then that kind of means Eli's not a great leader because, in my opinion, a great leader can control anybody.
And I guess I brought him up earlier because of Josh Allen.
Yeah, talking about him and
Stephon Diggs. Yeah, Diggs left this season he had traded to the Texans, and I've never seen Josh Allen play better. It's because he doesn't have to force the ball to a receiver that's going to complain, even though they win by 40 points, that he didn't get that many receptions. Yeah, that's good.
Boy, that ball had some English on it.
Mm-hmm. 7 seconds left in the half. 17-3 Notre Dame in the first college football playoff game in the 12-team format.
But I mean, like, do you consider Josh Allen a good leader? I think he's a great quarterback, but he doesn't. There's nothing about him that I think he's a leader. I think you can make the case that he leads by how he plays, and that's valid. I think that's a true thing. And to me, that's more of what real leadership is. Just guys going, that dude's giving his all, and he's breaking 42 tackles. I want to be a part of that.
Yeah.
But I just think that I think sports gets put into this romanticized, like, Josh Allen's in the locker room going, guys, we gotta toughen our loins and girth up. And I just don't think that happens as much as people. And talking to as many coaches as I do, 90% of them are like, yeah, we don't do speeches. I don't do speeches. We tell them what they need to do and they go do it.
Yeah.
And I just think we need to stop romanticizing that kind of stuff.
Yeah, as of right now, I don't think I could look at the 2024 Buffalo Bills and tell you if there's an actual leader. I would just default it to Allen just because he is the quarterback. But it could be like an unsung hero, like a special teams player, or it could be the kicker. It could be a special teams ace. Who knows?
Why are you not even going to try to return? And that goes to the other thing I was going to bring up earlier, actually. Why is quarterback, and I'm serious, why is quarterback held above every other position in football? Like, you never go, man, Joe Thomas, man, he's a Hall of Famer, but he never won the big game. Yeah. No, he's a Hall of Famer. So why do we keep quarterbacks that were very much Hall of Fame quarterbacks out of the Hall of Fame because they didn't win the big one, but we don't do that with any other position? That just makes no sense to me at all. Like, I've never understood that.
Yeah, that doesn't make sense. I agree with you. That doesn't make sense to me at all. Like, if you're a great player, you're a great player. Like, this is a team sport. There's not one player that's the reason why your team didn't win the Super Bowl. It's a collection. Halftime here in South Bend.
All right, halftime here. We're going to take us an extended break because it's going to be an extended break, so we're going to put the timer on, but do know that we are still here, and we'll be right back.
so badly. Abby's not doing a good enough job. Look. She's not doing a good enough job. Clean all, I like, clean all that up. Thank you. What? What do you mean? Okay. You want some food, puppy? You want some food, puppy? Oh, starving. Okay, so.
It looks great.
Check the timer. It's halftime.
Face is out.
I'm just letting you know. God, you're so fucking mean. Ugh.
Face is me. Look at the very special ornament Mom gave us.
Is it retarded?
It's sure looks like a happy one.
Is it the one that's skiing?
It has some heft to it.
It's not. It's a fucking.
Special.
It's a fucking dog skiing. That's not
Cute.
fancy. That's not.
Probably was at least $3.99 by itself.
But
By itself.
so the cost of your vagina.
By itself. You know what? At least.
Terry, been back here. playing the Here We Go. Hey, everybody. Terry Bennett, intern Noe the Pro, back here as we're about ready to start the second half. We got 7,000 people in here listening to the crap that we're spewing. Now I know how Joe Rogan feels.
Oh,
Hey-oh, hey-oh.
Shot fired.
Shot fired across the bow. I'll take you on, Joe Rogan. Let's go fisticuffs.
All the bros love Joe Rogan, man.
Dude, I used to love Joe Rogan. News Radio, one of my favorite shows of all time. One of the shows that kind of got me wanting to do radio, actually.
Oh, okay.
And he was in News Radio, but I actually liked it because of Dave Foley, who was from Kids in the Hall.
Yeah.
And, of course, the late, great Phil Hartman. As Indiana kicks off to begin the second half, trailing by 14. Notre Dame doing a little trickeration. It didn't work, but the athleticism did, as Notre Dame's going to get across the 50 and another big play. And this is the difference in Indiana and Notre Dame. Notre Dame tried to do basically a reverse. Indiana was not fooled, but they couldn't bring him down.
Athleticism, man. There was a player right there. Just could not make the play. And that lack of a playmaking ability caused Notre Dame to get into Indiana territory to the mid-40s. Great move.
Right, as you said it, so did the broadcaster.
Yeah.
Good timing right there.
So Notre Dame has the ball at the 47-yard line of Indiana. 1st and 10 to open up the second half. Great field position.
I want to say good call on the play, but I mean, like you said, it really wasn't a good call. It's just that was a great individual effort right there.
Yeah,
Again, that kind of goes back to what we were talking about with the whole Eli Manning leadership and stuff. People are going to say, "Oh, that great coaching," but that coach had nothing to do with that. That was one dude beating another dude in space, where the play actually, in theory, really didn't work, but the player made it work. Oh, I love that jacket.
Yeah.
Oh, that's dude. Notre Dame's got a slick look going on tonight.
Oh, yeah.
So first down or 15 after the delay of game. Notre Dame looking to throw, has a guy, dumps it down.
Yeah, if this was Georgia, they would have made that play on the reverse.
100%. I totally agree. And again, that's where you go like how great a coach is or all that. And it's like, yeah, I mean, great coach, but at the end of the day, it's the players that's going to play. As Barry Switzer used to always say, it's the Jimmy and Joes more than the X's and O's.
Yep. 2nd and 7, ball at the 44-yard line. Snap, handoff up the middle for minimal gain. Maybe 3rd and long now, about 3rd and 6. So, I mean, this kind of started disastrous, the second half did for Indiana, but they might be bailed out here. It's a crucial 3rd down. More crucial for Indiana than it is for Notre Dame. Notre Dame's kind of in control right now.
Yeah.
All right. Riley Leonard, quarterback for Notre Dame, in shotgun formation. Got a back there. Two wide receivers on the right and on the left. One in motion going to the left, so trips left, excuse me. Leonard back to pass. Throws right.
Oh, incomplete, man. I thought he caught that.
Big stop for Indiana's defense after the special teams.
If I'm Notre Dame, I go for it right here.
I think they'll punt.
No, I think they will. I'm just saying I would go for
Yeah.
it. You've got the...
Got to make that catch.
Yeah, you do, man. I mean, it's not technically a drop because he's diving, but I always remember the thing is great receivers make that play.
You see, like, I've noticed like, on that player's pants, like the knee pads are so high up, they don't even protect the knees.
Oh, no, that's been a thing for a while now. Hell, some players don't even they leave their knees uncovered. And I get it. You feel faster. But, I mean, I don't know. I just remember so many times you get hit at the knees and how much that hurts.
Yep.
So Indiana's defense comes out here in the second half and makes a big stop. If you're in Texas like we are, and whoa, what the hell happened there? I lost my puberty. South Oak Cliff was down early 14-0 against Richmond Randall. Randall still leads, but now instead of 14-0, it's 24-21. And South Oak Cliff is trying to go for their third state championship out of 4 years. They've been 4 straight years. They won 2, then they lost last year to PNG. That's Port Nature's Grove for those that don't know. You know who the head? So you were talking earlier about Katy. You know that the head coach of PNG is the son of the head coach at Katy. Gary Joseph is the head coach at Katy, won 9 state championships. Jeff Joseph is the head coach at PNG, and he's now won 1 state championship. Just so, in case you wanted to know that.
Yeah, they were showing highlights of PNG winning recently.
Yeah, they won last year over South Oak Cliff.
Yeah.
Great game. Controversial ending. Was it interference? Was it not?
Kind of nice being a high school fan now because of the availability of like just random games on like during the week. Like you could live here, watch some good West Texas football anytime of the anytime like every Friday if you want.
Yep. Boy, Hawk Tua girl's in trouble with crypto.
Oh, what happened here?
They did a thing, so it's called pulling the rug, where you announce a crypto and then you get everybody to invest in it, and then you basically pull all the money out. And apparently that's what happened is Haley Welch, Hawk Tua girl. I mean, when you get famous for talking about how you like to spit on a penis, you're probably not. I don't know why people would go to her for financial advice. I'm just saying.
So, like, what happened? So she endorsed.
That was her meme coin.
Oh, okay.
And to be fair, she probably had nothing to do with it, actually. She probably has no clue what's going on, but it still was done in her name. And so now she's being sued.
Yeah, she had a podcast. I don't know if it's still going. But.
Well, it was until all this. And in fact, that's kind of what started. Like, she hasn't had a show in like 2 weeks after all this happened. Who's that? Instead of Google. That's funny. Oh, I didn't realize he was the son of Frank Signetti. I guess that makes sense. That's not a normal name.
What a great first year.
How many times do you see that, though? They have that great first year and then they never able to replicate it.
Yeah.
Because it's hard at a school like Indiana. And again, he was at James Madison.
Who had a great turnaround and I guess starting in the 2000s or 2020s.
Yep. And I mean, he was part of that. So Indiana now down 14, looking to finally find some offense, and it's not going to happen as that. Look, at the end of the day, Grant Goodwin and I talk about this on Sideline to Sideline, and we talk about this just when we're driving to games. The skill position and all that gets all the love, but the great teams have great lines.
Yeah.
And we're seeing Indiana's offensive line, at least in this game, is just not up to snuff.
It's like we always talk about on this show. The foundation of a good football team, I always equate a football team to a house.
Mm-hmm.
And the foundation is the base. Like, you have to have that or you won't have a house. And to me, without a really good offensive line, you don't have a championship caliber team.
Mm-hmm. I agree 100%. And it's also depth. It's not just having the great line. You got to have 3 or 4 guys behind them that if you need them to step up, they can do it.
Depth is so, like, when you and I watch and cover the pros, depth is just so important because with the salary cap, it's just hard to maintain a lot of, like, you can't just outbid every other team to get like a Creed Humphrey or a Tyron Smith when you didn't have back issues, like an elite offensive lineman.
Mm-hmm.
Now you have to like maybe pay one like a Zach Martin and then try to draft 2 or 3 others and just hope for the best.
What the hell? Commercial? Oh, psoriasis. I saw itch. I thought something else.
Yeah. Again, think about it. It's college football. They not talk. This is not the girls' reunion. or Mean Girls, 20 years later. Man, I wonder how much money ABC and ESPN are making from this.
But the college football playoffs?
Yeah.
Playoffs? Millions. Again, this is it blows my mind. There are people that don't think college football players should be paid. Now, you can make the case like certain things like the transfer windows need to be adjusted. 100% agree. But this idea that because you play college football or any college sport, but college football, is the one that everybody talks about, and college basketball to an extent. Mm-hmm. But wait, what's this? A 5-part series. Oh, it's a behind the scenes on the playoffs. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
But this idea that they shouldn't be paid for what reason? Because it hurts the sport. Why? It doesn't hurt the NFL. It doesn't hurt pro sports.
And then that's when they tell you to stop asking questions.
I just think that people we have this weird idea that if they play for free, that means they want it more. And that, again, I go back to, if you feel that money makes it where you don't try, maybe you need to look in the mirror and realize maybe that's you. That not everybody that gets paid, that automatically that means they don't care.
That's a good point, man.
I mean, I think you can care and get paid. I think there's a world where both of them happen.
2nd and 18, Indiana needs something here. ball at their own 4-yard line.
I have been very underwhelmed by their quarterback. I went into this game hearing how he was underrated, and hey, he might have a really solid. He might be the next Brock Purdy, and I'm just not seeing it. And another flag, and another. You're down 2 touchdowns. It's 2nd and 18. Why the hell are you running the freaking off tackle? This goes back to you weren't watching the game. Woodville last night in high school, they were getting beat by 2 touchdowns, and they're just still running belly play.
Outstanding to me.
Just quit. Just freaking just turn in your game and say, we're out. We're done. Now, Indiana's going to get a break right now because Notre Dame was offside, so now they can run the ball from 2nd and, 12 instead of 2nd and 18.
Yeah. Yeah, I think he was leaning forward and he was trying to point his finger at the left tackle, maybe try to convince the referees that maybe that guy was, false starting. 2nd and 13. Oh, he has some blockers, and now he doesn't.
Yeah, let's run. We haven't ran the ball all game. We haven't really moved the ball all game, but let's run some trickery because that'll fool them. And look, I get it. You can't just drop back and throw 3 downs, but I would rather you do that and punt than try to run the ball. They've ran the ball on 2nd and 18. They get a lucky break with the offside. So what do? An end around?
Man, Notre Dame has some speed because it looked like
Indiana it looked like he had a lane. You're right about that. Notre Dame is sneaky. Well, I mean, they're sneaky athletic, or they're just athletic against a non-athletic Indiana team. Maybe Indiana needs to start shooting threes. I'm just saying. And he sacked. Wow, this is terrible. Again, the thing I was so worried about is you're going to have games like this, and it's going to tell the fans this is why you don't want teams like Indiana in.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they are dominating the line of scrimmage.
Jeez.
It'd be hard. Sorry. Like a 5-year-old right now.
Well, don't get the kick blocked. Good punt.
And here's a good return. Oh, nice hit. Well, but I mean, it's go ahead. Sorry.
I'm just saying. I bet his quad's hurt right now.
I bet your quad hurt. 11:03, and it feels like Notre Dame's going in for a kill shot right here.
Yeah, Kurt Signetti has a Gene Chizik look to him.
Yeah, he does. Good call. I was trying to think of earlier who he looked like. Gene Chizik, one of the everybody will forget he won a national championship.
Cam Newton at Auburn, yeah.
Oh,
Mr. Freeman,
he's not
head
happy.
coach for Notre Dame's a little irritated about something.
Notre Dame 1st and 10 in great field position with 10:58 left here in the third quarter.
Now, what do you do if you're the offensive coordinator for Notre Dame? You're kind of in control. Do you try to be more aggressive? Or do you just kind of stick to the game plan?
I think I think they realize that the Indiana probably is not going to be able to even score 10 points. Mm-hmm. But you want to maybe go for the kill shot now because of that. I know some people are like, well, let's just be conservative. I'm like, screw it. They're not going to score. Let's try to make this a 3-score game and be done with it. Because if they get anything, even maybe a field goal, but especially a touchdown, this game's over.
Yeah, I agree.
Okay, see, this is what I'm talking about right there. The broadcast saying in an era where you're seeing less lunch pail kids, hard hit. Why? Who said that? Just because a guy gets paid doesn't mean he can't be a hard hitting. That's such a bad perception, and the fact that ESPN is going to allow that to be an opinion and nobody's pushing back on that. We've got to stop pretending that. I mean, nobody says it's weird because nobody says that about the NFL. Nobody says, "Oh, well, J.J. Watt stopped caring when he got paid." So why do we think that a kid in college is going to stop caring?
Because it's new. It's a change. That's all it is. People, in human history, people have had a serious aversion to change.
Oh, drop pass. Oh, no, they caught it. I thought he dropped it.
I thought so, too.
Des Moines. Speaking of Iowa, that's the most offense. Oh,
good catch.
Wow. I was about to say they hit the ground, but it didn't.
Ball to 20, 1st and 10, Notre Dame. Under 9 minutes left in the third.
It's funny because I'm giving the Rourke a hard time for Indiana. But it's not like Notre Dame's quarterback's been particularly good either.
Yeah, he's just one of those. Yeah, Riley Leonard's never been pressured this season to win with his arm.
Yeah.
He's a really good dual threat quarterback. Emphasis on the running part, though. Second and long.
Ooh, excuse me, sorry.
I think you almost outdrank the coverage there, sir.
No, I think this game's just putting me to sleep. It's boring.
It is getting kind of boring.
Because, by the way, I mean, Notre Dame's just telling me that in the second round they're going to get donkey stomped.
I'm trying to remember their path. I remember the winner of Texas and Clemson has a favorable path.
They play Arizona
and then
State.
Penn State and SMU also have a favorite. Yeah, so I'm thinking Notre Dame might play Georgia.
Let's just look it up.
Or that.
All right, so
Georgia, I think it is.
The winner of this game
I'm in favor of them reseeding each
Georgia.
round.
Yeah, I think that's one of the things they'll have to do.
The bracket just looks pretty when you're looking at it, but I really think, in all fairness, they should reseed every round.
So the winner of this game will get donkey stomped by Georgia. And it's not like outside of Texas, it's not like Georgia's looked impressive. And again, a good play right there. Oh, whoa, come on. They're going to call that a late hit?
I knew they were going to call it.
I want to see this.
It's kind of demoralizing for Indiana.
I mean, it really is. They held them to at least a field goal, and now Notre Dame's going to get a first down.
Yeah. Signetti is,
But I want to see the play because it didn't feel like it was late hit. But again, it was all in real time. Let's see slow motion.
Signetti looks really pissed off right now. Excuse me.
Show the replay.
Here we go.
Oh, that's wow. That's crappy call, dude.
Yeah.
The announcer saying it's clearly if this was a game that there was a lot of chippiness, yeah, you make that call. But there hasn't been a lot of chippiness. You let that first one go, man. That's borderline.
Yeah, I agree with you. Man.
And that's the one thing all sports, not just football, all sports are going to have to figure out the officiating because it's been, I don't know a sport now. And some of it, to be fair, is because we have all this technology. We have hyper slow motion and stuff.
Yeah.
But, man, it just feels like officiating in all sports are just so bad now.
It definitely hasn't improved. I mean, part of it could be the skill set of the players. They're a lot faster and stronger.
Yeah, that's a good point. That's a good point.
And then some of the refs might get lazy just because they have the option of instant replay.
I don't think that. We talked about that in the high school. I don't think that's in the mind of the officials as much as people think it is.
I don't know. I'm just speculating.
Yeah, no, I know. I'm just saying. That's been said before. Like, oh well, they know that they have the instant replay. I think most officials, it's the exact opposite. They don't want to be reviewed. You know, you're prideful.
Yeah.
You don't want to be shown that you were wrong on film.
And it also looks bad when you're being evaluated at year end because referees, they get graded.
Yep.
So
it's weird to me that the NFL for that 1 year went referees full time and then were like, no, that doesn't work. And I'm like, really? Because, I mean, y'all pay them a lot to be part time. Oh,
Yeah.
Great defense by Indy. Well, I thought he was still up.
key stop for Indiana. Notre Dame's going to have to settle for a field goal.
Oh, yeah.
Right
There. It was knee in his elbow.
His left elbow. Yeah. And I guess his left knee, too.
So Indiana shakes off the penalty, and they're going to go back to holding Notre Dame to a field goal attempt. I mean, that's a win for Indiana. Oh, they're going to look. Oh, are we going to run a fake here?
They're going to kick a field goal.
Nope. And he's going to be short.
I kept hearing the whistle blown.
Oh, they called a timeout.
Yeah.
Oh, did Indiana call a timeout? Oh, my gosh.
I hope Jaguar Gator 9 saw that because he'll have a video tomorrow.
I mean, that wasn't a stupid timeout, just bad timing on the timeout. Yeah, I mean, that was just bad timing. I'm going to predict that he is fired within 2 years.
You think Indiana's going to regress that much?
Well, no, that's just how this works. I mean, how many times do you see a team like Indiana have a great year out of nowhere, and then they just go back to who they are?
Yeah.
I mean, Indiana's a great story, but we have one of these every year at least. We sometimes have 4 or 5, and usually I mean, it's the thing. I call it the hockey effect. Hockey is the world's worst about. I always say this whenever they're like, "Well, Joe Bob Johnson just won Coach of the Year," and I always say, "Up, he's getting fired next year," because that's just how that works. Like you have a great year out of nowhere, everything breaks right for you.
Yeah.
and then you can't replicate that, and almost like because you did it once, they're expecting it quicker. Mm-hmm. So yeah, I'm calling it now. He's gonna be fired in 2 years. False start on Notre Dame. They'll back up and re-kick. Speaking of Jaguar Gator, I know you don't follow him anymore, but I'll tell you what, that dude has so many live streams. He was live streaming St. Paul versus DePaul basketball the other night.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
And I'm like, dude, you got to be bored, brother. Field goal is up. Field goal is good.
There must have been some kind of demand for it.
No, he just streams every night. Like, he had like 20 people watching him. I mean, we have 3,000, so I'm happy. But, we've done streams where we've had 20 people.
Yeah.
But no, he just does. He just likes doing sports. And I watched a little bit of it. It's weird because he's like, it's like, I didn't know you knew basketball, brother. Good on you. I miss watching basketball. Basketball is hard for me to watch now.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't like unathletic guys jacking up 3-pointers, not making basketball moves, not playing not playing inside, in the paint,
not shooting the 15-footer.
Yeah,
I mean, again, I've said this before. We talked about this earlier. Analytics is killing sports, just like baseball. The stat heads have said if you throw it hard and swing for the fence, that's how you win. Well, now it's a self-fulfilling prophecy because everybody does that.
Yeah.
We don't have pitching anymore. We have throwing. We don't have hitting anymore. We have swinging. And as somebody that, grew up loving the game and baseball was my first love and all that, yeah, I watched when Texas won the World Series, but I didn't watch the regular season. Not because I'm a bandwagon fan, because baseball's boring right now. I never thought I would say this, but home runs are boring. We talked about this earlier, I miss the 80s Cardinals, the 80s Royals, Oakland. I miss Ricky Henderson. Ricky Henderson would not make a lineup now in baseball right now because he doesn't hit enough home runs. And he hit a lot of home runs for a leadoff guy. In fact, he leads the Major League history in most leadoff home runs. But he's not what you'd call a power guy now. There would be no place for him. Look at the dude that won multiple batting titles. Not Lewis Castro. Was it Lewis Castro? You know what I'm talking about. It was a Marlin.
you
know what I'm talking about.
A Roz?
Was it a Roz? I thought it was a... But anyway, the dude can't even find a job because all they say he does is hit for average. He doesn't do anything else. Man, there was
the Chris Carter of baseball.
All he does is catch touchdowns.
Yeah.
Trying to look through this up.
Well, it should be someone that I know. I'm like, oh yeah,
It is somebody you know, dude. I mean, you know sports. It's somebody you know. Oh, I didn't realize Bobby Witt this year did it. 332, nice.
Yeah, he was in the MVP race, but because of Aaron Judge, he wasn't going to ever win. I think Bobby Witt led the league in hits too, if I'm not mistaken.
Wait, what? What is this list? This is a weird list. Wait, what? Oh, runner up. That's why. Dadgummit. Yeah, it's Luis Urias. He's won the last two, but he can't. He bounced from Miami to San Diego. But there was somebody else. Who is it that I'm thinking of? Trey Turner. Man, that's a good name.
He was a Dodger
and National.
He
was a National when they won the World Series, wasn't he?
2019. I don't know.
Oh no, I don't think he was. I think he was Jeff McNeil. I don't even know who the hell that is.
Jeff McNeil.
He won a title. Two-time
All-Star.
All-Star.
Huh.
Plays for the Mets.
Yeah, was I thinking Mets? Yeah, I was thinking Mets.
All right, so Indiana now down 20 to 3, And again, a fast-moving third quarter. That's one thing Notre Dame has done well.
Yeah.
Even when they haven't scored or when they've only scored field goals, they're holding the ball for 4 and 5 minutes at a time.
That's all you got to ask for.
Man, that's not who I'm thinking. Why can't I find the guy I'm thinking of?
Indiana's averaging 43.3 points a game, and tonight they only have 3.
Jeez.
2nd and 11. I'm not sure what Indiana's going to do right now. Notre Dame.
Oh, there we go. Little bubble screen breaks out, or
helps.
tunnel screen,
Helps,
really.
Yeah. Notre Dame's winning the line of scrimmage right now.
Oh, I just saw a name, Josh Hamilton. We're going to have to do a deep dive on him one day. Fact, somebody just dropped a video of Josh Hamilton. Somebody just dropped a video about him.
It's such a short period of time, but so many highs and lows.
I mean, for a 2-year period, he was the best baseball player. Oh my gosh, incomplete, 4th down. I'm going to say now, I think, I know they won't because they're deep in territory, but I think you have to go for it.
I think so too.
You punting the ball, you're just this is. Look at that. Oh.
Man, you've just been just a little bit off tonight.
D. Gordon, that's who I was trying to think of earlier.
Oh, yeah, D. Gordon, yeah.
He was a guy that won the batting title and then spent the next 3 years bouncing around.
Yeah.
Because they labeled him as all he could do is hit. You know who his dad is, right?
Tom Flash Gordon?
Tom Flash Gordon, the former Royal and New York Yankee and Cub and one of the better save men's of the late 2000s.
Yeah, when I was a kid, I remember him as a starting pitcher, and then he transitioned over to relief pitcher and closer.
Him and Darren Oliver were very similar in that.
Yeah, same thing. Oliver was a starter, then he became a reliever.
And a damn good reliever. And a damn good reliever.
Yeah, very good one, yeah.
So Indiana gives up and punts. I will say this. I said earlier, Notre Dame's very underwhelming today.
Yeah, very much so. I think they should have a much bigger lead. Indiana, great story. You know, great coaching story, but this is where it ends. And that's not a bad thing. This is something to build upon. You got to showcase your team.
But they won't. They won't build upon it. Again, I promise you, this is
Probably not, but we've never experienced a 12-team playoff. And maybe this exposure might sway some Midwestern elite players to go to Indiana instead of a Notre Dame or instead of, wherever.
Okay, you just said an oxymoron, a Midwestern elite player. I mean, a slow white guy.
Hey, they got a lot of good tight ends out there.
You can't run out 11 tight ends. I would love to see a team have nothing but tight ends.
The
as their
11
wide
Dallas
receiver
Clarks make it to the. I mean, hey, Iowa University, they've been churning out some really good tight ends.
So, yeah, because that's the only offense they know. So, in our fantasy football, we have one running back spot and a bunch of WRTs. I was in another league that was like that had one running back and I think no wide receivers, but 4 WRTs. So, I mean, you could have. And this one dude, and of course, this was in the early 2000s. Or mid-2000s when you still had Tony Gonzalez and Jason Witten, but he literally ran nothing but tight ends and won a lot because he had Gonzalez, he had Witten. I'm trying to think. I think he even had Algie Crumpler. I mean, he had everybody.
Man, how did he get all of those players?
Well, because tight end has never been a value position in fantasy. So while everybody else was going for the running backs and the wide receivers, he was taking Tony Gonzalez in the first round and Jason Witten in the second round and Algie Crumpler in the third round. And he won a lot, but we always used to joke about, like, that has to be the slowest team in the history of football. 20-3, Notre Dame leads. We're what? 2:48 left in the third. They've got the ball. Yeah.
I wonder how much these commercials are. Cause like Super Bowl, they're like $2 to $3 million, maybe even more.
Absolutely blows my mind when you see the and man, I mean, that is such funny money at that point. Like,
Yeah.
like, why is it $2 million? Like, what's the value in that? You know, you're having to pay for the slot, which is $2 or $3 million, and then you're having to pay for the commercial, like to produce the commercial, and that's $2 or $3 million. And especially if you get somebody famous, well, then you're talking about a superstar fee at that point.
Yeah.
Man, I miss bowls. Like, I used to love bowls. I can't stand to watch a bowl game now.
So, I mean, and then a lot of the players that are somewhat good, they're just going to enter the transfer portal because they want to go somewhere else.
Or they're going to opt out for pro.
Yeah.
And I don't blame them. Again, this goes back to, you expect these dudes to play this game for free, and then they could tear their knee up. And so what do you tell them then? Oh, well, thanks. But you don't want them to pay them?
Yeah.
I will never understand the people that don't want to pay athletes. I don't know if it's jealousy, or again, I go back to this stupid belief that it only matters if it's free. Like, well, that's where they really care. Well, yeah, no, they don't.
All right. 2nd and 2 for Notre Dame. Handoff. Oh, no room to run. And he did find room to run. First down, Notre Dame.
Jesus.
Jeremiah Love, the same person early in the game, had the 98-yard touchdown. Just gets an amazing first down by just being patient and getting outside.
Dude, that is demoralizing if you're Indiana
We've
right
said
there.
the word demoralizing a lot on this show. Well, this show and the prior one.
By the way, Jeremiah Love is 4.1 yards rush after contact, which is 8th in all of college football, and we're seeing that tonight.
Wow.
6 carries. He still doesn't have 100 yards. 6 carries, 99 yards after he had a 98-yard. Wait, did he have a big loss or something? We must have missed something, or we just were talking. He had a 98-yard touchdown run, but he only has 6 carries for 99 yards after this 15-yard run?
Yeah, there's something wrong there.
Darren McFadden.
I mean, I could see it.
Dude, Darren McFadden was speed, though.
He has strength, too. But
Oh,
yeah,
no, man, no,
mostly
he did. But I'm just saying, like, by the way, Darren McFadden, one of the oddest 1,000-yard rushers for Dallas ever.
2015 Cowboys,
Yep,
right?
after Romo got hurt.
That was a Romo, yeah.
Actually, Rico's kind of doing the same path where McFadden got 1,000 yards because they played some bad teams and they had bad run defenses, but it didn't really help them win.
Yeah.
So we're about to wrap up the third quarter with one more quarter to go, with Notre Dame leading 20-3.
Fourth quarter.
Hold the hands up, fours. They do have to snap at least the ball one more time.
Oh, okay. I guess I was a little premature.
Don't hold the hands up, fours.
Yeah.
Let's go pick 6. I called it earlier. Let's go pick 6, Indiana. Come on, pick 6. Pick 6. Don't hand off. Pick 6. I do think Indiana's defense has played pretty well outside of some tackling issues. But again, we talked about Jeremiah Love is in the top 8 of being able to break contact.
Yeah.
And that's going to end the third quarter. We're going to take a quick break here on OutDrank The Coverage. It's football season, and that means it's bug season. Heck, who am I kidding? It's always bug season in Texas, and that's why you need Grandeur Pest Solutions in your corner. They're locally owned and operated. They're trained, they're trustworthy, and they have a proven record as they have been in business for almost 10 years. They provide pest control against ants, bed bugs, bees, roaches, fleas, wasps, mosquitoes, rodents, spiders, If it crawls and you don't like it, they're probably going to take care of it for you. Now, they serve all of the Dallas-Fort Worth area, and they're locally owned. These two guys have been running this business since 2013, and every year they get bigger and bigger. But you know what they still do? They still have great customer service. In fact, if you get a hold of them, they're usually going to have your quote and your job ready to go within 48 hours. That's pretty good. Now, you can call them for a free estimate at 469-809-1769. You can find them online at Grandeur4, that's the number 4, shore.com. You can also find them on Facebook. Just type in Grandeur Pet Solutions, and we are so happy that they're title sponsor for OutDrank the Here at L4 Media, we talk high school football, 4A, 3A, and 2A in Texas. We talk East Texas sports. We talk NFL, guy talk, movie and booze. We also talk wrestling and so much more.
Okay.
I think so.
I guess I'll leave.
Hey, we're back here. Talking about the Christmas party tomorrow. Yeah, I think we're supposed to be there at 7.
All right. I'll probably leave my place about 6 then.
You want to ride together?
I mean, we could.
I mean, unless you just don't, you want to have a vehicle in case you want to stay longer. Oh, we're back, by the way. We're talking now. 3,000 people are knowing our plans tomorrow. We're having the Christmas party.
I think people are starting to leave because they can see the writing in the wall.
We still got 3,700 strong. By the way, in Texas high school football playoffs, South Oak Cliff was down early 14-0, but they've now taken the lead against Richmond Randall 28-24.
No. And Richmond Randall, they're undefeated, though, right?
Yeah, but this is the first time they've ever been this far.
Hey, good for Richmond Randall. Great season.
Yeah, that's what they said to Indiana, too.
It was a great season for Indiana. It's about to end tonight, but it was a great season.
2 years from now, when they're looking for a new coach, we'll see what they do.
Oh, man, that would be such a shame if that actually...
I mean, that's how that works, dude.
It is kind of how that works. Because there's I know for some teams, there's like a big regression in year 2 when they've had such a... Because, Signetti, he probably didn't recruit all these guys.
Oh, that's a good point. Real good. And I'm not knocking him. I mean, again, this is just... That's how that works in all sports. You have an upstart team, things break right the whole season until it finally doesn't.
Yeah.
And then it's just really hard to build on that because you know what? As great as this season has been, top players are still not going to go into Indiana, especially now with the money issue. You're going to have to put money up, and it's not like Indiana's going to have a ton of big money donors.
I got a good example. Tyrone Willingham for Notre Dame.
Yep.
He had that great start to his first season, but he just never capitalized on it.
Yep. And he was doing that with all the resources that Notre Dame had. And look how hard it was for him.
Yep. All right. Start of the fourth quarter, 2nd and 14. Riley Leonard takes it up the middle. Calls his own number, as I like to say.
And again, I don't even really think Notre Dame's been that impressive tonight.
No,
now, they'll get all the accolades deservedly so. They're going to win, but we're going to see on ESPN and they're going to bite, hook, line, sinker about, Notre Dame, they could give Georgia a game, and they will for like 2 possessions, and then Georgia will be like, oh, yeah, let me whip out my SEC penis.
No.
3rd and 6 here because to be honest with you, Notre Dame should be up by like 40 right now.
Yeah.
Oh, nice throw by Riley right there.
Needle.
Threaded it. He called his own number and he threaded it.
Boom.
Ooh, excuse me. That's pretty impressive throw right there. Over the defensive lineman and through 2 defenders on the backside. So 1st and 10 for Notre Dame.
Throw it into the end zone. Oh, they didn't call a flag. Oh, no.
Oh, wow.
Flag's there.
Now there is a flag.
I like it. If it is offside on the defense, till you got to go, do a 9 route, go into the end zone, just heave it.
Not offsides.
Yep. It was a delayed flag, but yeah, on that left side of the line of scrimmage.
Dude, Carpenter for Indiana has not had a good game. He's the one that hit the player, which I still think was borderline, but still he hit him late. That extended the drive, and now he had an offsides, which puts Notre Dame in an advantageous situation. Cincinnati just does not look happy.
Yeah.
You know, he's not a young whippersnapper. I think he's 63.
Really? He looks young for his age.
I think that's what they said his age. I might be wrong. Maybe it's 53. I don't think he looks young. I think he looks old as fuck. Let me see here. Being pressured, Leonard looking to throw. He's going to just throw it out as he steps out of bounds. That's going to be pretty close if he was out of bounds or not. That's that Patrick Mahomes play. Just flip it out of bounds.
Yeah. Look at that schedule, man. UCLA seemed like a big one at the time. Notre Dame won, or Nebraska one was pretty big.
Yeah, he's 63. I think he looks 63.
Okay.
White cracks. It's black don't crack. White cracks. Born in Pittsburgh, he went to West Virginia University.
Oh, good evasive maneuvers by Raleigh Leonard to get back to the line of scrimmage.
He was a 6'3" quarterback for West Virginia. I bet he was there when Bobby Bowden was the head coach at West Virginia. Yep, he was. His coaching.
I don't think I remember Bobby Bowden as a
That's before our time, dude.
Mountaineer.
Yep. That was before our time. Actually, he was there after Bobby Bowden because I was reading that wrong. I thought he said 60s. But yeah, Bobby Bowden, that was his, I want to say his first college coaching job.
Okay.
Head coach, I think. Let me look. I want to make sure I did it. Fourth down now after the missed pass. He was head coach at West Virginia from 1970 to 75. And then he took the Florida State job in 76 and, of course, stayed there till 2009. Oh, I keep forgetting he passed away. He's 91, man. That's a good life. I'm just hoping to hit 51.
Yeah. You may or may not.
It's about 50-50 on the 51. Oh, look. Another field goal.
Yeah.
So exciting.
Yawn. Blocked.
Blocked?
Momentum shift. They have life.
They have life. They said that was a low kick. That really wasn't that low of a kick. I mean, he just got up and blocked it. Was that Carpenter, the dude that's got like 17 penalties tonight?
Didn't think so. Commercial break. About 12 minutes left in the game.
And 30 minutes left in commercials.
Notre Dame's up 23-3.
I mean, the big tire would be heavier than the fridge. Ooh.
Man, a lot of State Farm commercials.
Yeah, that's they've been the main sponsor of them, and of course for the SEC's Dr. Pepper. Which, by the way, the College Town thing Dr. Pepper's been running the last few years.
Yeah,
freaking hilarious. Brian Bosworth as the sheriff is freaking funny. Hey, 3,700 people, go home. Go to bed. This game sucks. I'm just trying to save you.
Thank you for being here. Those that stay.
No, he said y'all suck.
Did not say that.
Hey, look, it's Charles Woodson. Oh.
That is racist.
What? They both played for Michigan. And they both played multiple positions.
Both struck the Heisman pose.
You know, Desmond is one of those that I think Desmond Howard, who we're talking about. I think people act like he didn't have a great NFL career when, I mean, he basically, for all the talk of Brett Favre and Reggie White, he basically won that Super Bowl with that kickoff return.
Yep.
But he was a really good, solid kickoff return guy.
Yeah, he
Speaking of,
was a Pro Bowler, I remember, with the Lions, I think, in '99 because of it. And then he won a Super Bowl MVP in Super Bowl 31 in the '96 season to help the Packers win the Super Bowl against the Patriots. This was pre-Brady,
yeah,
pre-Belichick. Well, Belichick was on the Patriots. He was the defensive coordinator under Parcells.
yeah. Speaking of, does Devin Hester deserve the Hall of Fame?
Man, you know what? I think yes, but I was shocked that he went in on his first ballot.
Yeah, I mean, if he gets in, why isn't Brian Mitchell in, who had way more stats? Now, you can say that Brian Mitchell wasn't explosive, but okay, then why isn't Dante Hall in? Why isn't Eric Metcalf in? I mean, if you're going to go with that, and I'm not saying they deserve to be in because I don't think they do, and I don't have there's only like 2 players in the Hall of Fame that I have a problem with. Harold Baines in baseball is one of them.
Yeah.
That's terrible. The Hall of an okay player allows, but that's because Tony La Russa was on the committee. He was the manager when Baines was in Chicago for the White Sox. But I mean, and I love Devin Hester, don't get me wrong, but there's so many other return men that deserve to be in my opinion, as much as he does. But I don't want to open that floodgates because you don't want average guys into the Hall of Fame.
Yeah. They need to reconsider Hall of Fame credentials. I actually thought Cooperstown Baseball Hall of Fame was very selective.
Well, it is to an extent, but they created the Veterans Committee, and the problem with that is people want to put in people who were just good guys or who were their friends, who were good ball players, but they weren't great, like Harold Baines.
Yeah.
Like Harold Baines might be the worst player in the Hall of Fame of any Hall of Fames.
Well, then, Canton is not much better. They had, Terrell Davis, only really 4 full seasons, and then he had another 3 that were injured plagued, and he's in the Hall of Fame.
That's the Gale Sayers rule.
Yeah.
So when they put Gale Sayers in, they weren't really thinking ahead and realizing that, hey, in 50 years we're going to have 10,000 more players who've played in the NFL, and we've got to figure out who of those belong in the Hall of Fame. And so I think Gale Sayers and I can't think of the name. There's a couple other football players that I don't think would get in now, if that makes sense.
It makes sense. Great defensive play here.
Yep.
Indiana, it just feels like
they're happy to be here.
They're just trying so hard to make any kind of play, and nothing's working at all. This is a high-scoring offense. Again, they were averaging over 40 points a game this season.
Man, just terrible.
3rd and 10. Chances of converting this first down is low to nil.
We didn't know probability stat tell us that.
All right. Let's see what they do. Plays called. Ball's at the 47 of Notre Dame. 3rd and 7 for Indiana. We are under 11 minutes left in the ball game. Rourke back to pass and nothing.
Trying to set the screen up. There's no point of the screen when you can't do anything. This is embarrassing.
Big time, man.
Big time embarrassing. Now we got a Notre Dame player down, so great, waste time. Well, excuse me there. Wow, we were just talking about West Virginia, and they've actually got a commercial.
Yeah.
Bring back Rich Rod. By the way, very impressed. We had a couple people in that chat about a month ago saying that, yeah, he's going to be named the head coach.
Yeah.
And we were like, is he? Because we're not finding anything. It took a couple weeks later, but lo and behold, Rich Rodriguez going back to West Virginia.
That was one of the best consistent runs in that program's history. They had some spurts in the late 80s, early 90s where,
Major Harris.
88, if Major Harris doesn't get hurt, I think they might have had a chance at beating Notre Dame for the championship. But they actually did get to play for the championship in the 88 season. In 93, they were actually undefeated in the regular season, but they had a Sugar Bowl invite as a number 3 undefeated team to play Florida. And then Florida, as I said earlier, mollywopped them in the Sugar Bowl. So I don't know if it was a situation where they were unmotivated to play and some of the star players opted out, or
well, no, they didn't opt out back then.
It's just reality set in, and West Virginia just had a cupcake schedule.
Yeah, like Indiana tonight.
Yeah.
They just got overpowered by a Florida team that was really, really good. That, back then you'd have really mismatched bowls at sometimes. And sometimes, and there is the whole idea some guys might have checked out mentally, just like didn't want to be there and all. But yeah, back then you didn't opt out fully of the game. By the way, I'm fine with that if you do. Still blows my mind. We get mad. People get mad that players have rights and stuff. Are you a peanut M&M guy or a regular M&M guy?
Peanut butter.
I love peanut butter M&M. I love peanut butter Twix, but they don't make them, or you can't find them anymore. I'll say they make them.
I would be a peanut butter Twix person if I could find one of those.
Oh, yeah, they're amazing, dude. Gorgeous.
You need a minute over there, sir?
No, I'm done. I'm about to take a nap.
Okay.
20-3 Notre Dame leads here as we are still early-ish in the fourth quarter. Well, I think 10:35 left. And the team down 20-3 is going to punt because, that's going to help them. 10:45 left. I thought it said 10:33.
Yeah, I was waiting for the time to pop up. And punts away.
Good bounce for Notre Dame because it bounces outside the 20. So 10:34 left in the game. Notre Dame is led basically the whole way. They actually threw an interception on the third play of the game, but then Indiana promptly threw it back to them.
Yeah.
They need Gene Hackman to step on the coach. I love that movie, Hoosiers.
Hoosiers. One of the best. I think it's one of the top 10 sports movies of all time.
Oh, yeah, I agree. It's funny, too, because Gene Hackman famously, him and Dennis Hopper, there's a scene where, they're showing a montage, and it's him and Gene Hackman and Dennis Hopper sitting on the bench, and they're laughing. And Gene Hackman says that, they're laughing because they were literally talking about how this movie's going to bomb. And then it became such not only a cult classic, it was a pretty good success at the box office. I do think it's funny. Nobody's ever talked about the fact that the state championship game is basically all white small town versus all black inner city, but nobody talks about how there was a little bit of racial connotations on that.
I mean, yeah, a little bit. All right, second.
Jeremy Hargrove, sorry we missed this earlier. He said, as a Miami Hurricane fan, this is painful to watch. I mean, Miami's painful to watch, brother. Sorry. Jeremy's happy, though. They won state.
Who did Jeremy go
Columbus.
to? Oh, okay.
Yeah, he played for Columbus. He played with Matt Schobel, the head coach. But yeah, this has been and this is one of the reasons why I wanted to do this show for this game, to force me to watch it, because I could see this coming a mile away. Like, this is just, hey, where did our thing go? I just realized our background died.
Oh.
Here at L4 Media, we talk high school. go. Our background was like, man, this game sucks so bad, I'm out.
About 9 minutes left in the game. This agonizingly long game.
About 10 minutes left in my life. This agonizing long life. Now, one thing I will give Indiana credit for is that defensive line has still played pretty damn solid all game.
Yes, they have played. I mean, outside of that big run, they've been pretty solid.
Mike Denbrock. Wow, that's weird. 39 points per game is the second most in Notre Dame history. Wow, that's pretty good because, I mean, Notre Dame's been playing forever, and Notre Dame was dominant forever.
Yeah. Just going to keep running away.
And I run away. I run so far. Oh, sorry. So 8:04 left. Notre Dame up 20 to. Notre Dame up 20-3 driving.
Yep.
Winding the clock down too. That's one thing they've done really well is shorten the time. If you're Indiana, you haven't been able to consistently stay on the field, but I think some of it is they felt the pressure because they haven't stayed on the field. It's that self-fulfilling prophecy.
Yep. First down.
Oh, I hate when I get the yawnsies.
Yeah.
It's almost bad as
But
the herpes.
I mean, again, if we weren't doing a live show, we probably both would have called it a night.
Oh, I'd be asleep right now.
Yeah.
I've been asleep for 30 minutes, though, to be fair.
Roy Leonard, he had a pretty efficient night. Like, he wasn't anything spectacular. I think it's more of his team around him that kind of was spectacular in shutting down the Hoosiers' offense.
Oh, I agree. Gritty gutty, though.
Eddie.
Off tackle, going to be about a 6-yard gain as they're really starting to push this Indiana offensive line or defensive line. I'll get it right here in a minute.
Yeah.
They're really starting to push the Indiana defensive line around. And the defensive line, though, for the most part, as we were saying earlier, has actually been probably one of the bright spots for Indiana tonight. Like, they've legitimately gotten pressure. And, again, outside that 98-yard touchdown run, they've done a pretty good job of not allowing the big play. But Notre Dame has just been so good getting those third down conversions.
Back to pass. Leonard steps up. Throws deep. Wide open. Did he get it?
Down to the
At
goal
the
line.
one.
And that's gonna do it for Indiana. Good season. Go shoot some hoops. Play some lacrosse and hockey.
What did that one player do? Did the little shovel.
Oh,
Dig
yeah.
the hole. Great throw. Great catch. Great timing. And the clock keeps churning. Under 6 minutes left in the game. Notre Dame in prime scoring position. Leonard still in shotgun. Hands it off.
Oh, I don't know if he got it.
He did not get it.
Indiana's starting to come back now.
Come close.
Hey, yo. Do you remember when, I don't know why it's made me think of this. Do you remember when Kevin Steele, who was the head coach of Baylor?
Yeah.
I think it was UNLV they were playing. They were up. Baylor was going to win, and he wanted to do the whole, let's make a statement. And so from the goal line, he ran a play, fumbled it, and UNLV scooped and scored and won the game.
No.
Studio Dog, what's up? How you doing? How you doing? How you doing?
Abby.
Why are you so mean to her?
Come on, Abby.
Why are you so mean to Studio
Bye,
Dog?
Studio Dog.
No, I didn't want you in here. Jeez, get it right.
Timeout by Indiana. Oh, Notre Dame.
Well, Notre Dame, yeah,
Indiana
Notre-
already took a timeout earlier. So
Yeah,
this is-
Notre Dame was about to have a delayed game. By the way, we still have 3,000 people. If it drops to below 2,000, we're going to call it a night.
You're trying to find any excuse.
This game is boring the crap out of me. Not our conversation. I've enjoyed our talk.
Yeah.
That's why I wanted you here. Again, last night, Brett Sweeney and I did the same thing where the game got out of hand that we were covering. So we just started talking. That's what we were doing earlier, talking about the ethics of sports and leadership. And I find that kind of stuff fascinating. That's why I like talking it, because I think we try to quantify, and it's just human nature. You try to quantify things, but sometimes you just can't quantify why one team beats another team. Like, how is it that Jacksonville could be so damn good one year, but they couldn't beat the Tennessee Titans? That kind of stuff just blows my mind.
The 1999 Jacksonville Jaguars, 14-2, best team in franchise history, and all three of their losses. Because they had a third loss. It was in the AFC title game. We're all to the Titans.
That's just so crazy, man.
Yeah. That was such a good Jaguar team.
Mark Brunell, Jimmy Smith, Keenan McCardle. Both former Cowboys, but in different parts. Think about that. Think about if Jimmy Smith wouldn't have got hurt, and he would have slid in as the number 2 wide receiver after Alvin Harper left. Think about how little the Cowboys would have dropped off.
Yep.
Cocaine Jimmy. That's why he fit well with Dallas. Remember, he got in trouble in Jacksonville for the drugs.
Who did?
Jimmy Smith.
Oh, yeah. He started the Cowboys.
I just said that.
No, I mean, like, I'm trying to think of when he left.
He left in 90, like 1 year after they did an injury settlement. That was wow, weird commercial. Like, as we're talking about it, it's a mascot commercial. And it's the Jaguars. But yeah, he had
a Lion, a Viking.
Yeah. Oh my, he had he had an injury settlement, and the Cowboys released him and paid him because he got hurt, and they tried to say he could play, he couldn't. Yeah. But then a year and a half later, he's leading the league in yards for Jacksonville. Fred Taylor. I think Natron Means was on that team.
Oh, yeah, the 96 team. Yeah. I still remember the heady play he made in the 96 wild card round against Buffalo.
Who?
Natron Means.
What did he do? I don't remember.
Brunell threw, or dropped back to pass, couldn't find anybody, so he dumped it off to Means. It was a little high, and then Natron saw some Buffalo defenders coming. So instead of trying to catch the ball, he just kind of tipped it out of bounds.
Wow, that is the most random play that you remember right there. Isn't that funny how that stuff certain things will stick with you like that?
Yeah, that and Tony Baselli's touchdown, Leonard touchdown, fighting Irish. The other one was just overall Tony Baselli basically handling Bruce Smith.
Yeah, I remember that. If Baselli, a Hall of Famer,
injured too much. Like, he only played 5-6 years, and he was injured half that time.
Texans have famously drafted him with the first pick in the
02 expansion draft.
Yeah, the expansion draft, and he never really actually played with. I mean, he played like 2 or 3 games, I think, if he even played that much. Oh, that's crazy. Riley Leonard, the 15th rush TD, the most by Notre Dame quarterback in the history, and he broke it from a dude that did it in 2017. Think about how long Notre Dame had a run-based, like with Lou Holtz, kind of an option, Tony Rice and those, and none of those got that record, and Cracker Riley Leonard does. That just blows my mind right there.
Yeah, it's...
All right, so if Indiana goes 3 and out, or if Indiana doesn't score and there's still time left, we're calling it.
It's almost over, dude.
We're calling it.
We can just finish the game.
We're calling it. It's college football. This will take 7 more hours. Beautiful throw right there.
They're not going to just call timeouts. They're down 27-3.
They're calling all timeouts.
They're just going to try to run out the clock at this point.
In fact, that new rule the NCAA has, if you're down, you can take the other team's timeout.
What article and section are you referring to?
Article 13, Section 3.5. What did you think about the MLB? We talked a little bit about it in one of the happy hours, but what did you think about the MLB floating that golden bat rule?
Refresh my memory.
Where you could, once a game, no matter where it was in the lineup, you could put whoever you wanted at bat.
Oh.
So, like, if you had, like Corey Seager.
Yeah, I am against that. I like them trying to do different things to improve the quality of the game or improve, like, just bring eyes to the sport. But I just don't think playing batters out of order is the thing to do.
I agree, but I think it'd be kind of fun.
I would like to see it being executed in maybe an all-star game or spring training.
Just to see how it was.
Just to see, yeah. Because I'm okay with changing my mind. But just thinking about the concept now and trying to think of how it would work in practice.
It's gimmicky.
Yeah. I don't want that really affecting the outcome of a game, per se.
You in the per se's. Literally.
Literally.
Oh,
Ooh,
ow.
okay?
Oh, we got pushing, we got shoving, we got flags.
And Short King got mad. Oh, I mean, like you look at number 6 compared to everybody else.
Yeah, no, you're not wrong. I love that term,
Yeah.
Short King.
Here we go.
Oh. Again, it's going to take 4 hours to play the last 4:23 or 4:39.
This isn't basketball.
Oh, that's terrible too.
That's the thing. Another thing I hate about current NBA, you can breeze through most of the game, but you get to the final 2 minutes and it's just timeouts, fouls.
To be fair, basketball's always kind of been like that. The running joke has always been if you're a basketball fan, just watch the last 2 minutes. In the bitch area, wow.
Got to defend your player.
Yeah, but like,
You have to defend your teammate.
really, like you're gonna get him for shoving, but you're not gonna get number 3
They
for
both-
standing over the
It should have been
player.
offsetted penalties.
Yeah, he's standing over the dude after kind of hip dropping. And I know the NCAA didn't have a hip drop rule like the NFL does, but still. But they still do get the first down, even though they have to back it back up. They did get the first down, so that's that weird. They're basically 1st and 10 again at 1st and 10.
Yeah.
Oh, let's dump it off down 27-3. That's fun. I will say this. I jokingly say, but you can see, again, for Indiana, how special this season was. But Rourke has just been absolutely terribly underwhelming today.
Yeah. I'd expect a little bit more from Indiana in this game. I didn't think it'd be a blowout like it is right now. It's 20 right now. It's 27-3 Notre Dame. Right under 4 minutes left. I didn't know Curtis Rourke is married already. Hey. Well,
I mean, I think he's an older, isn't he? Like a redshirt senior. I mean, a transfer senior.
If he is, I didn't realize it.
Playing for pride at this point.
I always hate that.
Playing for pride?
Yeah.
Just, again, it goes back to the whole leadership thing. Oh, now you throw it down the field.
That red zone interception, I think, kind of spooked him.
Yeah, I think so too. I really do think that kind of just kept him seeing ghosts almost now.
They were in control up until that interception. So, yeah, maybe.
$2:57 left. And no, we're not going to have any post game or anything. As soon as this frigger hits 0, I'm kicking Noe out and I'm going to bed. Or Noe's coming to bed with me, whichever happens first.
I was kind of hoping they just pencil in Notre Dame there for for the first. Yeah, so there won't be any games next weekend, but it'll be Tuesday, New Year's Eve, and then Wednesday, New Year's Day.
Yeah, it's a weird schedule.
And that'll be the quarterfinals.
Now we have a flag on the plate. You think the dude's like, dude, the game's over. Quit throwing flags.
Oh. Announcer even calls it a dud, this game.
Yeah, I mean, for it to being the first game. First off, I don't understand why there was only one play. This should have been a doubleheader. But yeah, this being the face of the college football playoffs, you're just reinforcing everybody that said Indiana didn't belong.
I think if there was not 2 NFL games tomorrow, I think they might have done that. But then, well, no way. I take that back because since there are NFL games tomorrow, they should have had 3 games today and maybe 1 game tomorrow.
Yeah.
Because I think the NFL games tomorrow are at noon and 3.
Yeah,
so they could have done a Saturday night game. They could have worked with the NFL on that one. So, yeah, I stand corrected.
Stop going out of bounds. Jesus Christ.
Or maybe Al Golden used to be called like Al Smith. And because
Al Golden looks like that Forbes dude that ran for president. Steve Forbes, I think it was, or Michael Forbes. But yeah, he looks just like him.
Wasn't he the BC coach, Boston College?
Who?
Al Golden.
Was he?
I think so.
That's a cool painting.
Yeah.
Oh, is that supposed to be him?
I guess so. I didn't know he went to Penn State.
Weird thing is he played golf.
I'm going to look that up. Al Golden. He's 55 years old.
Nice.
Born on Independence Day, 1969.
Independence Day.
Let's see here. He did play for Penn State from 88 to 91. And then he played for the Patriots for 1 year in 92. That was a pretty terrible year. He was a tight end.
That Dick McPherson right before they brought in Parcells.
Yeah. He was a linebacker coach at Boston College. For some reason, I thought he was the head coach.
Did he coach for the Jets? Not head coach, but did he coach for the Jets?
No.
You're a liar.
Defensive coordinator of Virginia, 01 to 05, and then Temple head coach from 06 to 2010.
Nobody wants to remember coaching for.
Yeah. And then 2011 to 2015, he was at Miami as head coach. I think I remember that time.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Oh, and then he was the Bengals linebacker coach the year they went to the Super Bowl. And then he's been at Notre Dame since 22.
Yeah, he came in right when Miami was getting investigated again. Yeah. I remember that now.
Yeah.
In fact, they would have made the bowl in 2012 or 2011, 2012, and then because they were being investigated, Miami withdrew.
Yeah.
I guess South Oak Cliff got beat.
Man, there are a lot of AI commercials coming out now. What are your thoughts on AI?
Not a big fan of AI. Takes away the creativity of human. Like the Coca-Cola AI, it's perfectly fine, but it feels it feels fake.
Yeah.
Most AI feels fake. Also, Terminator. I mean, we haven't learned. We create these movies to warn people, and then just do it anyway.
Yeah, because we're so focused on entertainment. We're like, oh yeah, this is just make believe. It feels safe. No, it's a possible reality.
I mean, people have been saying for 40 years that it would be a reality, and it is. And and it it's a weird thing. Like to be that lazy. Like you just can't create your own thing. Like just think. You don't need to freaking. And I'll say this: I use AI for certain things when I'm writing, but I'd use it more for prompts and like how to, like, I'm trying to word something. How do I figure it out? And I read AI and I don't copy it, but I go, okay, that's better. Let me, at least emulate that. I guess AI it. I guess I AI.
Yeah, there's some good uses of it.
AIAIO. Man, incomplete.
Oh, man. Under 2 minutes left. A really good throw. Just couldn't catch the ball.
Man, if India scores there, they only get beat by 2 touchdowns.
Still 27-3. A minute 53 left. 39. Ball at the 24-yard line of Notre Dame.
Dude, y'all 3,000 people watch. Go to bed.
Not everybody is old like us, Terry.
No, I mean, this is a shitty game.
It's only 10:20. It's a Friday night. People are going to stay up.
Okay, go watch SpongeBob then at least.
I think that's the wrong audience, sir. Hey, first down conversion inside the 10-yard line.
Don't call it a comeback. No, seriously, don't call it a comeback.
To the 7-yard line of the Irish. I think Indiana called. No, wait. Oh, yeah. So in college football, whenever you get a
Signetti
first,
looks like a 2-year-old having a tantrum. Come on, India, score! Or not. And you're killing the clock. Jesus. I do believe a rule should be if it's at least, if you're down, if the score is a 3-touchdown difference, even if you throw the ball and it's incomplete, clock runs.
yeah.
Let's get the F out of here. Hey, we're down to 36 people. The people were like, we're out, folks. That's been fun, though, actually. Again, I said this is one of the reasons I wanted you in studio because I kind of felt, and I think everybody realized this is probably how this game was going to play out,
Yeah.
Oh, God, he's going to score, isn't he?
Touchdown, Indiana, with a minute and 27 seconds left in the ball game. 27-9, Notre Dame.
Wow, let's add 10 minutes more to this. Nice move at the goal line. Yep, scored.
Yeah.
So to you 36 people, we're sorry.
Oh, finally dropped.
That's what I said. Like as soon
Well, it was
as
still like 3,000 up until like the 30 seconds ago.
yeah, did you not hear me? That's what I said. I'm like everybody left. They
okay.
they were like that's it, we're out. And actually, the way this works is it's not a real time stat. It's like every minute it refreshes and catches whatever the numbers are. So people probably, I mean, and I would too. It's like okay, the game's over.
Yeah.
Hey, let's go for 2 because sure.
Well, they get this 2, they'll be down 16. If they get the onside, get the ball, score with 30 seconds left, and also get the 2-point conversion, they'll be down by 8, 1 score. And then they repeat that same process again.
And then start shooting threes.
Yeah.
Foul the other team. What?
It sounds more preposterous the more I say it.
What do you mean? What are you saying? What are you saying? The 2-pointer's good.
It's 27-11 Notre Dame. So Indiana's going to line up for the onside kick. Let's see if they recover.
Nah, kick it deep.
What a quarterfinal matchup. Notre Dame and Georgia.
Oh, Georgia will win by 3 touchdowns. As terrible as Indiana has been tonight, I have not really been impressed with Notre Dame by any stretch. Good crowd. I'll give them that. All those faux Irish.
Yeah.
Oh, my name is McKillicuddy. Dude, your name's John Smith. Shut up.
Minute 27 left. Notre Dame's going to have a tough matchup on the first.
And all jokes aside, and it's been frustrating, great season by Indiana.
Yeah.
Maybe the greatest season in their football program. Here we are, as you said, they're going to try the onside kick.
They're not there yet, but like if they have... Oh, they recovered the onside kick!
go. Here we go, folks. Here we go.
Here we go.
Here we go.
Man.
Buck, here we
You
go.
can't hear it.
Here we
goes
go.
playing.
Here we go. Here we go.
Here
Here we go. Here we go. Here we go.
Here we go. Everybody get back in the room. Now we're only down to 16. Go tell the other 20 that left they got to get back in.
Yeah. Wow.
Hey, you know what happens with a touchdown, a 2-point conversion, and a touchdown, and a 2-point conversion, right?
Overtime.
Just saying. Just saying.
All right. So Indiana still has 2 timeouts. Minute 24 left. Ball at midfield. I'm thinking they go deep to start.
Well, you got a block. And you also need a quarterback that can throw.
Oh, can't take that sack.
Rourke said, yes, I can. Watch. I've been very underwhelmed by him.
I'll take it and you'll like it.
Oh, man, not a time. Urgh!
Had no choice. They just wasted almost 15 seconds off the clock for negative yardage.
There should be a rule. If you're down by more than 1 score, you can't take timeouts. I legitimately love the jacket that the head coach of Notre Dame is wearing. That is a slick-looking look, brother. Hey, brother.
You're using that term a little too liberally.
Hey, brother.
So Indiana has 1 more timeout left. Notre Dame still has 2.
If you're Indiana, you've basically got to start throwing to the end zone.
Yeah.
I think that's the thing that's been so frustrating watching this is that they have, I want a team that's the underdog going on the road. I want the Jimmy Johnson, if you're going to take on the gorilla, you don't hit them lightly, you hit them big. I get tired of these underdogs that get in and get so conservative. Minute 7 left. 1 timeout for Indiana. I'm assuming they'll. Do you keep going here? Do you try to? I guess you try to get the first down, then take it. Nope. Now they're going to call a timeout.
First down out of bounds.
Now they're going to call a timeout. Nope. All the officials are running around, but the clock's running. Like, what are you doing here?
They're going to have to reset the game clock. Ain't no way Indiana's wasting all this time.
Well, no, the officials are talking. That's what they're discussing something.
Okay, so they'll change the play call.
Again, officials, it's over. Let's move the game along. Jesus Christ. This is just me and Grant talk about this all the time. One of the biggest thing is in football is these officials, it takes them 20 minutes to just come up with a basic rule. I didn't even hear what it was. What did they say? You weren't paying attention either. It's okay.
No, there's 1 minute and 3 seconds left. So
Yeah, but why did they stop the clock and all that? Because it wasn't a timeout. He's down. 4th down. Oh, wow, they're going to give him a very good spot.
Yeah.
Wow.
Move the chains, first down.
And now there's going to be a timeout. Notre Dame. Jeez. So this is the kind
reminds me of college basketball.
Yeah, this is the kind of stuff. It's just like, get the game over, folks.
You're giving Indiana a free timeout, essentially. That is terrible coaching, Freeman. The heck is wrong with you? You're up by 2 scores. Don't call a timeout with under a minute to go, and you're on defense.
Yeah, just if they score, they score. They're still not going to score 16 points. Did Greg McElroy just really say that Notre Dame has been dominant against an Indiana team that's been dominant? They've played a crappy schedule.
They were dominant in that crappy schedule.
By the way, how did Indiana make the playoffs? Like, what is their defining win?
They beat Michigan.
Okay, so what is their defining win?
It's a name team.
And he was down. That's not a first down.
God, I can't believe they're reviewing this.
I can't believe they called it to where they needed to review it. It looked like it was short to me from the beginning. Hang on.
I think they're going to...
No, I'm listening to them talking about Indiana.
Yeah. They're gonna overrule the. They're gonna say it's not a first down. That's what I think is gonna happen. The eye test.
So Greg McElroy is saying that it's obvious Indiana made the playoffs because of the execution in their eye test. What? I mean, again, I go back to who was it that they played that you're like, wow, man, look at what they did against, whatever team it was. I don't remember any of those. And again, I'm 100% loving that Indiana made the playoffs, but I'm like what McDonough said, like, why were they never lumped in with SMU? Why was it, oh, well, yeah, Indiana's in for sure.
They beat Washington, who played for the championship last season.
Okay, but Washington's not good this year. Michigan's not good this year.
Nebraska.
Not good this year.
Yeah. UCLA. They were all blowouts, though, all these wins. Except for Michigan.
Duh.
All that just to do that.
I mean, again, I get it. You're trying to make sure you're fair, but why are we spending 8 minutes on a review on a 2-score game with 52 seconds left? I'm agreeing with Neil McDonough saying, I've said this before about the SEC. Why is the Big Ten being labeled as such a great conference? What is their bell cow wins? It doesn't count when you're just beating each other.
Which the bell cow win there was Oregon beating Ohio State.
No, but that's the point. They're just beating each other.
Yeah.
So, like, why is that getting more value than what other conferences do?
Fourth down converted.
Oh, really? Step out of bounds? Jesus friggin' Christ. I hate sports. Until tomorrow.
Okay. Ball at the 30-yard line. Indiana takes a snap. Rourke stepping up in the pocket, gets the first down. In college football, clock stops whenever you get the first down, so they have a little bit of time to get set up in their formation and run a play. Spikes the ball.
Jesus Christ.
31 seconds left. Indiana still has one timeout, so I think they might save that just in case they score here.
I mean, they've got to score, onside kick, and score. They cannot give Notre Dame the ball back. They don't have enough timeouts or time. I mean, seriously,
they really don't.
They don't have the time. There's 31 seconds left.
I ain't got the
scores.
time, and I ain't got the timeouts. Rourke back to pass. Got a guy. Touchdown. 2 quick scores by the Hoosiers, and this is getting super interesting.
No, it's not. But
With
I'll go back to what we talked about. Indiana being way too conservative early. They open, and I know that Notre Dame's playing soft, but why were they not opening it up early? If you're the underdog, don't go conservative. Go in there and go balls to the wall. If you get beat, you get beat.
17-27, Notre Dame. Indiana is lining up for their 2-point conversion.
They have to have this if they have any chance.
Yep. Just like the play-by-play guy said.
No, it's just timing and points. If you're gonna have a miracle, you've got to get the 2-point conversion. You can't be down 10. You're not gonna win the game.
I know. And he did not get it.
Dropped.
I think it was deflected.
Was it?
It looked like he had coverage on him. Let's see. Maybe I'm wrong.
Oh, yeah. Good call right there, Noe.
Yeah. See, I'm somewhat awake. Yeah, that was great, Cat. Or great the pass deflection.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Oh, no, you don't have to admire the freaking fight. They're just playing out the clock.
I mean, there's 2 scores. They have 1 timeout.
And that's going to do it.
Yep.
And we're going to call it now, folks. 16 people here. We do appreciate everybody that joined us. We had a ton of people on our first annual college football playoff watching party. And even though Indiana sucks ass, it's been fun. It's been fun talking sports with you, intern Noe. I've missed you, buddy. I can't wait to cuddle after the lights go down, or maybe we keep it up while the lights go down. Until next time, which will be not this Monday, but the 30th, right? And
Yes, the 30th.
We'll be back on the 30th for our happy hour, so tell all your friends and family as we're going to dissect this game by talking about every play 45 minutes like they used to do on NFL films. As Notre Dame gets into the touch the butt formation.
Victory formation.
And that's going to do it. Until next time, he's intern Noe the Pro. I'm Terry the host, and this has been OutDrank The Coverage.
On L4.